never know.
We will see how it goes. It is going to be a long night, as we have heard. We will leave you now as we see Vice President J.D. Vance walking through Statuary Hall on his way into the House chamber. You'll remember from State of the Union addresses in the past, there are two people behind the president when he takes the podium. One of them is the Vice President and the other the Speaker of the House, who will be Mike Johnson. And now you see on your screen President Donald Trump as he enters his limousine to head from the White House here to the U.S. Capitol. So this is one of those moments that we always see on State of the Union night, but this really does signify that the speech is getting closer. Donald Trump is scheduled to begin speaking at around 9, but he is beginning to make that journey here to the U.S. House. So we will leave you now with these live pictures coming in from the White House as President Donald Trump prepares to come to the Capitol for his State of the Union address. Back with you soon.
I'll be talking in a minute here.
Time to shrink myself down and hide inside a stinky old shoe. That way, when the foot gets placed in the shoe... Oh, no you don't. Not again. Uh-oh. No more sniffing and licking for you. I'm putting you in the kettle. That I'm a vapor, I can see the interconnectedness of all things. I do not end at self, for the boundaries of self are an illusion. The air that I breathe is me. The light that I see is me. The feet that I sniff are my own. Elon Musk's dismantling of U.S. aid has, over the last year, directly resulted in more than 800,000 deaths. The majority of those deaths were children. A peer-reviewed study published in The Lancet estimates that there will be an additional 9.4 million deaths by 2030 if these cuts aren't reversed. Elon Musk is one of the greatest mass murderers of all time.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
Good morning. On behalf of the Democratic Party, I welcome you to what I'm told is now the world's largest mass child grave. You can see the children piled up behind us. It's kind of frightful, in a way, seeing them all stacked up like that. We apparently didn't dig quite deep enough, and the smell is Well, it is what it is. These children, 500,000 or so, are the unfortunate victims of the gutting of USAID, which, I should add, we at the Democratic Party had nothing to do with. That was all troublesome Trump and businessman Elon Musk. Naughty, naughty. But we at the Democratic Party know our role as the opposition in these troubling times, so we thought the least we could do is, dig a big hole to dump the children in and give them a proper burial, you know? I personally thought it would be nice to honor these children and their courageous sacrifice with some parting words from people across the political spectrum. After all, there's never a better time than the present to reach across the aisle and find common ground. Sorry about that, they're, still adding children to the pile. About 1,400 a day, I'm told. Really should have dug deeper. Anyway, our first speaker is from, let's see, the Tea Party. Wow, vintage. I didn't realize any of them were still around. Well, give it up for our Tea Party speaker.
Thank you. I should say right off the bat, I'm not a member of the Tea Party. I'm a communist. Our requests to speak here were mysteriously denied until we said we were from the Tea Party. So there it is. All I really wanted to say here was, I got no love for Donald Trump or Elon Musk. But you know what? I think they did the right thing taking down USAID. It was a corrupt arm of United States imperial power, and the world is better off without it. I mean, obviously, I don't like all the dead children. That goes without saying. But you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. I think we got some of the parents here in the audience, right? My condolences. None of this is your fault. The United States intentionally made you reliant on our help to survive, but in the long run, you'll see that it was actually good that that help was taken away. Even if it was, done rather quickly. Without anything to replace it. God, that is a lot of kids.
All right, you've had more than enough time.
Yeah, I know the drill.
Up next, I'm very pleased to present a good friend of mine, a fine fellow and kind soul, and today's representative from the Republican Party.
Thank you. I just want to set the record straight. The United States of America should not be sending its money overseas unless it's via the military. The $30 billion a year that was being spent on USAID is much better used solving problems at home. And that's why the savings from cutting foreign aid have gone right into ICE's $75 billion budget increase. ICE, baby! It is not the job of the United States to solve foreign problems. Now, some cultural Marxists out there might say many of those problems are ones we caused in the first place. And the three ghosts who visit me every Christmas might say the common welfare is everyone's business. But to them, I say, no.
Thank you. Inspiring words. The Republican, everyone. Our next speaker is a true free thinker, a real thought leader. I'm so happy to have him here. Please give a warm welcome to tonight's centrist.
All right, before I begin, I just want to make this absolutely clear. I am not a Holocaust denier. The Holocaust happened. 10 million murdered in concentration camps, 6 million of them Jews. I do not in any way dispute this. It's just, you know, sometimes I say something and people start asking if I'm a Holocaust denier, so I wanted to get ahead of it this time. I don't think the numbers are right for the USAID deaths. Yeah, I've seen the studies, I've seen the reporting, I've seen the crying parents. I just have some disputes with the methodology, you know? And yeah, there's all the little kid bodies piled up back there or whatever, but is that really 500,000? Those numbers are sensationalist. Like, yeah, 500,000 dead children is a tragedy, but think about it. What if it's only 100,000? What if it's only 50,000? You expect me to get out of bed for 50,000 dead kids? Give me a break. That's all I gotta say. The Holocaust, though, that was real. I am not a Holocaust denier.
Thank you so much. What a luminary. We have one final guest who has very kindly flown in from their headquarters in Arlington, Virginia. may I present to you a representative from the American Nazi Party.
Thank you, thank you. Now, I am a Holocaust denier, and I agree with everything the previous speaker said. In fact, I'm hard-pressed to find anything to disagree with from any of today's speakers. So, you know, Heil Hitler, keep up the good work, everyone.
Welcome, everyone, to the State of the Union. Hope everyone's doing really well. I'd like to give a big props to Film Cow for creating these animations. If you give these animations a like, appreciate it. It's right here. Big props to Zombie Cod coming on #1 in the chat, and so German Cow JJ showing up. Appreciate it. Zombie is asking me about Destiny, and I'm not the biggest fan of Destiny, but I gotta say I've been seeing a lot of his work came across my algorithm, and I've been watching a few clips, a lot of his debate stuff, you know, that it gets clipped out, and his abilities and his intelligence is undeniable, you know. What I will say about Destiny, my biggest criticism is that he's often using rhetoric that is counterproductive to the leftist movement. I don't think he sees himself as a serious leftist, as a person who represents the left, which is a shame. I think he, you know, I think he should really think about, you know, as he gets older, his ability to be a leader, and start acting like it, acting like an adult, taking politics more seriously even than what he is now. So yeah, those are my comments on Destiny. It's a shame that he isn't more serious, that he doesn't you know, encourage his audience to get in the streets, spends a lot of time playing video games when he should be spending that time organizing. Sorry if the mic there. But I think he should be you know, spending more time organizing and spending less time fucking about. You know, but he's made millions doing that, so who am I to say, you know, what works and what doesn't? But the way that I operate is, you know, is this helping the movement? You know, what are we doing for the movement? How are we trying to fix this world? How are we trying to fix politics? And I think Destiny should be using his talents to do that. To answer your question there, Zombie. So I have CNBC up here, and I also have CNN up at the top left, as you can see. And we're going to do something fun today. I'm going to have a bingo card of all of this. You know, thank you to Woke Patriot here for this bingo card. But we're going to, you know, be marking off the bingo card here as we go along. Of course, we got the free space. We got Joe Biden, mentions Joe Biden. We all know he's going to do that. That's the free space, but hopefully we'll get a bingo today. See how that goes. I'm also obviously, as you can see, I'm streaming this from upstairs, which means I'm watching my kid at the same time while I'm doing this. So I'll have to be stepping away from the camera every so often to make sure my kid is okay and he's taken care of. So welcome to the News Underground, folks. Welcome to the stream. I think what I will do is switch on over to Zateo's coverage, because I always love their commentary and whatnot, and that's always interesting. Let's go ahead and go to Zateo here. They're doing just such a kick-ass job. You know, hint. I'd love to. You know, do you need an intern?
There's some curveball from Trump.
This is my kombucha. I wish it had something else.
Do you want somebody to sweep your office? Do you want somebody to, like, I don't know, go get you some coffee, Mehdi Hassan? You know, I'd love to work for Zateo. What's the bingo prize if Trump has a heart attack in the middle of speech? I will literally kiss you. I will literally reach into the screen and grab you by the schnoz and give you a big O smacker right on the lips. So you're coming from, and I can agree with some of that, but his audience, DDG, is the largest group of creative, and the content creators and largest ground. He's super black-pilled. Yeah, I mean, his nihilism is a big problem for someone like I said, like I wish he would, take his position more seriously and, declare himself to be one of the, leaders on the left. He's got time, he's got money, he's got clout. And I'd like to see him take the reins and, get out there, start marching, start doing speeches, start getting even more confrontational with the fascistic right. Rhetoric and that helped Trump get elected, and Norman on the left is always the bigger man has gotten us here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the reason why we have Trump specifically is because of the left. We didn't help the left and the neoliberal. I mean, we definitely have some blame, but it's complicated. I see where you're going there though, and it's like, you know what I'm saying with the rhetoric, always dropping the R bombs, always, the tangents, his N-word tangents, his defense of the N-word and things like that. With that said, his skills are undeniable. His debating skills, his intelligence, right? These things are undeniable, and I would like to see him take the next step. Quit acting like a punk ass bitch and start acting like an adult, and start leading the left. Start leading a portion of the leftist movement, and maybe also drop the support for neoliberalism. I see him defending neoliberalism quite a bit, defending Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, which I understand his positions on it, but like I said, just push harder. Obviously, he would never be a tanky. I would never support that. But I would like to see him use his skills and his intelligence to further the leftist political movement. So let's get on over to Zateo here.
The senator that he was, which was this idea that he was something other than what he is. And we've seen the blossoming between J.D. Vance-ism and Thomas Massie. And I just think tonight...
I'm not talking about purity tests, but I'm just talking about the counterproductive, he'll bust out these incredibly juvenile jokes, these incredibly edgy jokes, KYS kind of jokes, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He'll, I know there's a certain people that are attracted to it, but he's too intelligent and he's too popular to ignore. And I would like to see him use his abilities, to the fullest to help the leftist movement instead of just helping fill his own pockets.
Oklahoma, Mr.
Oh yes, yeah, it is. It does look very thick. I can see it from here.
Yeah,
gentleman from California,
active.
Mr. Aguilar.
Yeah.
Gentleman,
does he know he's on camera?
I don't think he's not taking
Maybe he's looking at someone in the balcony.
Gentleman from Michigan.
He's getting mobbed.
I was going to say, there's interesting people in the balcony. There's Usha Vance in the balcony. Erica Kirk's in the balcony.
I mean, what good is drawing these people in if you're not encouraging the vote? If you're not encouraging them to actually get active, it's really more entertainment than it is politics. You know what I mean? Like, if you're attracting people that aren't really going to vote, aren't really going to not really going to become active, what are you doing other than entertaining, right? And look, I would say stylistically, he doesn't even really need to change much. Just, start getting, keep everything the way you like. That's fine, right? If that's what makes you the money, that's what gets you the clout. But let's start, the marching. Let's start the voting. Let's start the, working with, other politically minded people. Let's kick it up to the next level there. You know, but let's you know, but that would require him to take some responsibility, right? Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing though, is that this whole like converting people from the right, like these people, those people aren't going to be voting Democrat. They're not going to be voting leftist. But he honestly, he would really only need to change like 5 or 10% to make me happy in terms of the rhetoric, and just kick it up a notch in terms of the political engagement. And I think I would be perfectly happy. But he spends, like I said, he spends a lot of time playing video games and fucking bitches and spending, making and spending money. And, you know, quite frankly, we don't have time for this shit right now. We need activists. We need fighters. We need warriors. We don't need fuckabouts, you know. And the thing is that he's incredibly intelligent. He's incredibly talented. And we need every single person like Destiny to be getting in the fight. You know what I mean?
Jim Himes, Don Bear, Robert Garcia from the Oversight Committee. I believe our friends at Midas Touch are holding some kind of alternative people's State of the Union in D.C. that a lot of Democrats are making a beeline for. I think Francesca, they finally caught up with their base, where their base is?
I mean, yeah, I think what I would rather see is them actually protest him. I'm reminded of Al Green. I'm reminded of Marjorie Taylor.
Yeah, good luck the neoliberals protesting anything. They got to be fucking primaried. They got to be kicked out of there. By the way, I have CNN up just in case he decides to attack Iran during this pageant. So that's why I'm keeping CNN up here, just in case he decides to do something especially insane.
Our president has been implicated in as being one of the closest confidants of the biggest sex trafficker, elitist sex trafficker in human history, honestly, in modern political history,
German
for
cow.
sure.
That's
and
my
he might be
experience.
implicated in the files in concerning a 13-year-old girl, right?
Yeah,
and
that honestly, what German cow said is my experience with most quote unquote conservatives, libertarians. You can't really, you know, even if they do accept your arguments one day, they're right back to supporting Republicans, you know.
It is possibly the biggest scandal in modern American history. Francesca's going to stop someone from running into her room, I assume. But
also,
she's doing her own protest. This was just Francesca's own protest. Yeah. Francesca's like, Jimmy Gomez should get up and walk out of the room like I just walked out of the room. That was a one-woman protest there from California from Francesca Fiorentini.
I know, German. What
from me?
Entered the room. Yeah, I thought you were doing some protest because Trump's about to come and just ran out from your chair.
I was letting my cat out
to show Democrats. You were letting your cat out, not letting a child in. Got it. We're very familiar. That's how Democrats should walk out. Wouldn't that be cool? I think that would be a good visual image if all the Democrats did show up and then got up and all walked out during the speech. They talked about doing that last year, and obviously they didn't.
Did they do the stupid signs last year? Is that what they did last year?
Before Trump comes in?
Signs.
Randomly, just looking at Twitter because I'm trying to look at Twitter while we talk and see what's happening. And Ro Khanna, who's at the House tonight, we just mentioned him already. AIPAC is attacking Ro Khanna, and Ro Khanna tweeted, "Are you guys still around?" You know, a little bit of snark, a little bit of heat, given AIPAC's been taking a beating recently in some of the primaries. And David Frum, all remember David Frum, Axis of Evil David Frum, quote tweeted Khanna saying, "A question that's been repeatedly asked in dozens of now forgotten languages over the past 3,000 years. Guys, separate to State of the Union, can I just say how insane it is to suggest that AIPAC represents all Jews throughout history? AIPAC has not been existed for 3,000 years. So when Frum says that Khanna is attacking 3,000-year-old people, he's talking about the Jews. That is anti-Semitism to conflate all Jews with AIPAC or the pro-Israel lobby. Anyways, rant over. Nothing to do with the State of the Union, but I had to bring that up. Do we think Israel's going to come up tonight? Certainly Iran will.
Prem?
I mean, we were talking about this earlier, Maddie, how like half the time when Trump makes a decision, it's really just who gets to him last. And of course, Tucker Carlson was spotted in the White House just, I think, a day or two ago. And so the question of whether he will or will not say Iran has fire and fury going towards them really just depends on if he talked to Marco Rubio and Lindsey Graham or Tucker Carlson last. And I'll also add, speaking of random, did you see who Lindsey Graham brought to the speech?
David Ellison, son of Larry, owner of CBS News now. Big supporter of the IDF. He is Lindsey Graham's guest, like warmongers stick together, or what is it?
That's
well,
weird,
literally,
Zombie. That's so
half the
strange.
guests there are victims of some sort of crime, whether it's
Works for
sexual or immigration
see it.
related from this administration. He brought one of the richest people in America, whose family is about to own half the companies in America.
Well, he's been a victim. Yeah, he's been a victim too, right?
That is
Not
true.
Being
That
able
is
to
true.
buy
No, that's true.
all of the media.
Right,
He
that's
only
true.
got a
Fixed it.
bit of TikTok and
Exactly.
all of CBS News, and he might get CNN next. Yeah, but he's there tonight. The oligarchy's out in force.
What is Lindsey Graham like for? Do you know what I mean?
All right, folks,
Like, I
don't
mean,
forget,
what
we're
is
gonna
he
be doing
support?
bingo
South Carolina.
tonight.
Well, once we do go to war with Iran, I feel like Lindsey Graham, yes, will just sort of.
We're going to be doing bingo tonight. Make sure you remind me about the bingo if you think I should add something if I'm forgetting something. Says just real quick, we'll go through the bingo here. Claims the 2020 election was stolen. Claims he ended X number of wars. Yeah, depressed, right. Hail Trump, hail our dealer. Yeah, okay. Right. And I understand you're using Nazi rhetoric unironically. Right? You think that's a good thing, the Nazi rhetoric that you're using, correct? Bashes SCOTUS, says the phrase transgender for everyone, mentions Nicki Minaj. That one's not going to get hit. Don't forget, we got the free space as well here. Hints at refund checks, mumbles something incoherent, mentions Greenland. Hints at war with Iran, calls Melania a movie star. He has been saying that. He has literally been saying Melania's movie is doing great. Says the phrase fake news. Right. Okay. I really honestly I can't tell if you're speaking facetiously or not. That's how pathetic the right-wing Trump supporters like. I can't even tell if you're joking or not. Honestly, I can't. Like, because they unironically say those things. Rambles about China, mentions Joe Biden, claims Epstein in a hoax, claims Epstein is a hoax. He's not going to mention Epstein. That'll be a surprise to me. Talks about a woman's body part. That'll be a rare one. Claims fraud in California, pushes the SAVE Act, lies about the economy, bashes Canada, says nobody's ever seen anything like it. That's almost a guarantee. Claims poll numbers are fake. Mentions Obama, praises tariffs, claims prescriptions are down over 100%, or mentions the Olympics.
I forgot who published it. That recent great piece.
Moti
I think it was
at the American
at the Prospect. An amazing story about Marco
These fucking
Rubio's
fascists.
very explicit history and
You
running.
know, 1 year of full-blown fascism, 1 year of authoritarian madness, and they're hugging each other, and it's like you look at this crowd, you wouldn't think that America is collapsing. America is like literally falling apart, and look what's happening in the crowd here. You know what I mean? Like it's bizarro world. There shouldn't be a single Democrat there. There shouldn't be a single person that represents the left in this audience. You got Chuck Schumer and the rest of these fucking losers happily sitting there. The fucking Supreme Court coming in. These motherfuckers over here, who none of them should be going. You know what I mean? Like this whole situation's completely off the fucking rails. And it's just another day at the office for these fucking freaks. It's really something else. It's totally Orwellian. These people are leading us to ruin. They're getting people killed. It's an absolute disaster what we're seeing right now, and it's just disgusting to see this. Just another day, just haha, shaking hands. Got fucking nut lick right there. You can tell from his slick back bald cap. Fucking nut lick over here. Goddamn Baron literally his name is Baron. Literally he wants to rule the fucking country. He thinks he's gonna inherit the fucking country. It's just disgusting. The whole thing is fucking disgusting.
The sense of like Call of Duty mindset where like Pete Hegseth is like, all right, boys, like it's time to just like get it on. It's this sense of like you should feel imposter syndrome. Like you should not feel this like level of comfort to then.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, these people are frauds, and they shouldn't feel comfortable in their position. None of them are qualified to be in it, not even remotely. They should feel imposter syndrome. They're fucking disgusting. They're way over their skis, out of their depth. They're absolute frauds. Every one of them. We got fucking what the fucks are nuts. Miss Botox over here.
Basically turn you
None of
into
them are qualified
Skynet.
to be in their
We will
positions.
take over your company, and that's what he's planning to do.
They're sycophants to power. They're bootlickers. They got there because they praised Trump even through thick and thin. Up against objective reality, they were praising Trump. That's why they're there. It has nothing to do with their qualifications. And let me tell you, when shit really hits the fan, thank you, Lenny. Big props to your boy, Lenny. Accidents waiting to happen there, folks. Make sure you're following Lenny for that really good content. He does great consumer reporting. But when shit really hits the fan, like if we have a world war scenario or a massive economic collapse or a truly, devastating crisis, these people are going to completely deflate. They're going to be incapable of handling the situation properly, and they're going to get way more people killed than they already are. You got RFK over here, claims he cares about poison in food, claims he cares about our drinking water and the quality of our food. Working with big business to remove regulations to make it easier for big business to poison us. These people are insane. They're sycophants to power, the bootlickers, and they're coasting right now. They're coasting on, the strength of our country that they're actively, dissolving the strength of our fucking country. There he is, Ted fucking Cruz. Half of these people, more than half, work for fucking Israel. A good chunk of them, Israel has videos of them fucking kids or fucking prostitutes. And they're just coasting along. If shit were to really hit the fan, we would be up shit's creek without a paddle. These people are not leaders. And everyone's like, oh yeah, well they're going to be nothing without Trump. They're going to try. They're going to try to keep things rolling. They're going to try to stay in power. They're going to try to keep the dictatorial framework that Trump created up. They're going to try to keep it going,
Our first draft morning newsletter today, in which Prem made the point that people all over the world are resigning, quitting, being criminally investigated, being arrested, like Peter Mandelson and Prince Andrew in the UK. Here in the US, people aren't even losing their job. Forget being arrested. Howard Lutnick is fine as Commerce Secretary, even though he's been caught lying about his business and personal ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, and not only that, these are people who continue to commit crimes as we speak. I mean, Howard Lutnick's family is currently cashing in on this ICE warehouse expansion endeavor. His sons are making money off of that.
And tariffs, right? Didn't they also
no point
do a
in
bet
shaming
on
the
tariffs?
shameless.
I believe so.
Actually,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the details on that, but
the only thing that we can do is destroy them politically. That's the only thing we should be spending time on. We can't shame them. If we get Schadenfreude from their downfall, that's great. But it's an emergency situation that we're in right now, and really the only thing we should be focusing on is destroying the neoliberal Democrats, but also, of course, the fascistic right. That should be our only. Yeah, I mean, their money supply is a big one, but really the only thing we should be concerning ourselves with is primarying neoliberal Democrats, and of course, destroying politically the fascistic right.
Like Bobby Ewing at the end of that season of Dallas, when he comes out the shower and it was all a dream the entire season. I still feel like that every time I see Donald Trump at occasions like this.
11 years that man has been like in earnest public life.
Yes. There
More
are.
than-
I mean, my kids have not known us other
Well,
presidents.
yes.
No.
They don't. They
More
barely.
than-
They barely remember Obama, the older one.
That's so
literally
sad.
more
And
than
just look at
half.
this.
I mean, yeah, more,
Look at this display right here. This man is a petulant child. He's ignorant. He's racist. He's sexist. He's genocidal. He's driving the country off a cliff. He's proven himself time and time and time again to be an ignorant fool. And look at the handshakes and the smiles and the glad handing. They're irredeemable. These people are irredeemable. They have no honor. Their title is honorable, and that's it. But he's destroying their country. Look at this. Look at this guy. He's wearing the fucking hat. He's like, Donald Trump doesn't even fucking look at him. Doesn't even fucking look at this goofy ass goober. He's wearing the Donald Trump was right about everything hat. He doesn't even look at him. Donald Trump didn't even fucking look at him. Look at how he's acting. Look at how he's walking. Look at this. Look at all the fucking people getting selfies, getting the handshakes. He's driving our country off a cliff, and not just our country, but their political party, electorally in the polls, decimated. Have you seen the primaries in Texas? The voter turnout? There's a possibility that Texas will turn blue. These fucking people shaking hands and thank you, sirs. No respect for themselves. Disgusting. They're absolutely disgusting.
On a microphone, all the kind of disgusting, weird things he does at rallies. Oh, there's John Roberts. Did he?
What do you think? Yeah, wait. What do you think about this?
Hold on, did he engage with Roberts?
Yeah,
Did he
yeah,
engage?
yo.
There was a slight
snub.
First of all, John Roberts is such a little bee. He's going to turn around and gut the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah, of course.
Watch. Because every
Did
time
he?
John Roberts, not yet, not that I know, unless news broke just now, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't really engage with any of the justices, did he?
I was going to ask about Amy
Went
Coney
right
Barrett.
by.
Did he just? Did
No,
he
I
even
don't think
shake her
any of
hand?
them. I didn't see him with.
Right?
Kamala.
He's,
Really see-
you know,
oh,
he's trying
Fetterman.
to, you know, with his fucking tariff regime, he's driving our economy into the fucking shitter. It's just, you know, and they just applaud. Woo! Look at this stupid woman. Woo! That's great. That's so great. Wow, he's a guy destroying us. He's actually literally destroying us. And these people are going to follow him right off a cliff. All these idiot goobers right here, applauding away. They're literally trying to undermine the election, right? So that we can't vote him or people like him out. They think they're never not going to be in power. This is it. This is the new American dictatorship.
And JD Vance will be there to applaud every one of those lies.
Do you think that Stephen Miller is backstage, like still typing it out, or is he
just
back
like,
in his blanket
like
for it?
like puppeting, like arm up the back of the jacket,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
puppet master him. Stephen Miller is the author of some of Trump's worst, most dystopian screeds, of course.
I think we're going to hear a lot of racism. I think he's going
Hundreds.
to repeat what he said about.
I think we're going to hear about
Somali Americans.
Somalis, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about. We're definitely going to hear Somalis. I think we're going to hear about Iran.
He literally, Donald Trump literally pardoned somebody, and then they committed another crime, and he pardoned them a second time. He just pardoned 5 football people, some NFL people who committed crimes of some sort. One of them was deceased. But he did it just on a whim. He just pardoned 5 like NFL people on a whim. Because he thinks, you know, stupid people, they like football, so they'll like me. The man's a criminal.
There are empty seats, as far as I can see, to the left.
Wait, also their applause is not that impressive either. Like, they definitely clapped way more for Netanyahu. Straight up.
Netanyahu, of course, gets more.
He's got
applause.
more money to give him, though.
Oh, here we go. We're hollering.
USA, because where else would we be, honestly? Just in case you needed the reminder.
Also, let's just be very blunt. I was just giving a speech at the National Press Club. This man is
thank you
an
very
enemy
much,
to the USA.
everybody. It's really
Here we go.
an honor, Speaker Johnson.
Oh boy.
Vice President Vance,
Are we super sleepy?
First Lady of the United States.
Oh, I don't think the cat napping is helping, Francesca.
Celebrity, let's go. Movie star. Oh boy. Oh.
She's so modest.
There's Lara Trump.
I don't really
Half of the
recognize her
prediction
when she's
market
not on the
business in that
stripper pole.
box.
Second Lady of the United States.
Oh, speaking of which, the prediction markets must be going crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh
There's
yeah.
Usha, who's due with a fourth child. Am I right in saying for JD this
I
year?
think so. Yeah.
Oh, Usha. Oh, I
Usha,
can't. I can't even.
ex-Democrat, ex-liberal, now
Members
enabler of a white
Congress
supremacist
and
administration.
My fellow Americans.
The left
Our
her.
nation is back. Bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Yes.
First lie of the night. It is not richer than before. GDP is lower than Joe Biden.
They won't even release job numbers, by the way.
Yeah,
people.
they don't
We
even do
know
the fucking
the
job numbers anymore.
officially.
We're just not ready for
In
them.
5 months from now, our country will celebrate
deserve
an
them.
epic milestone
Yeah.
in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And we've seen nothing yet.
he
We're
calls
gonna do
himself
better and
exceptional.
better and better.
Nothing.
This is the golden age of America.
They actually already lied about the economy.
Ah, yes. The golden age of America, where Americans sitting with a gun down by masked agents in the street.
When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis
Oh, here we go.
with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels,
Not true.
a wide open
Yeah,
border,
not true.
horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But
So I
tonight,
decided to double
after
down on
just
all
one
of it.
year, I can say
Just
with
a reminder to
dignity
everyone
and
watching,
pride that we have
inflation was just under
achieved a
3% when Biden
transformation
left
like
office. It's
no
pretty
one
much the
has
same
ever
right now.
seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround.
Trump has mastered the
for
art of just
ages.
lying.
He certainly has.
A turnaround for the ages if you are me, my family, or in my cabinet, and you're currently making money off of my administration.
Or one of the many rich dudes I pardoned.
Or our
Yeah.
pedophile.
Or one of the rich pedophiles I pardoned.
Indeed.
There's many
Venn
different.
diagram. Yeah.
Venn diagram.
They're inclusive. Say what you will. They're
One of the
inclusive.
drug traffickers that I pardoned, a foreign head of state that I pardoned.
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back.
By
Wasn't
force.
that a Kamala Harris line?
Yo.
2024.
Is he gonna say Trump is Brad? I really hope he does.
We're not going back.
We're not going back.
Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising
It's not
fast.
plummeting, just to be
The
clear.
roaring
not.
economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
We've never been more.
Ooh,
We've never
the
been more
dentures are doing a
disrespected in the
thing.
international
Wow.
community.
Yeah. He better cut this short.
He's not going to.
He's
Also,
going to
the
go
border's
like an
never been
hour and
open.
45
It
minutes.
wasn't an open
in which
border.
millions and
Remember the
millions
app
of
that
illegal
Biden
aliens
rolled
walk
out
across our
kept
borders totally
millions of people
unvetted and
waiting on
unchecked.
the Mexico side of the
We
U.S.
now
border.
have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
Not true, by the way.
This entire lie that even some Democrats play into is and the media is preposterous.
I wonder
In
if
the
Fetterman's
past 9
clapping.
months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
That's not true.
Who haven't paid me specifically to get a Trump gold card that I also rolled out for the high rollers, you know, the high rolling criminals. If you're a low level criminal, we don't love
We
you.
will
High
always
rollers,
allow
you can
people
buy your
to
way.
come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year.
Okay, fentanyl is where he goes off the train. Like, he will make up numbers. He'll be like, there are 350 million dead.
Pam Bondi says he saved like 300 million lives, more than there are like people.
The population of the country?
You and I are about to die, and he saved different.
They know because they've evidently seized all the supply for themselves, I guess.
In over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred. Before he was born.
Racist psychopath.
Substantially before he was born.
This is
basically a long time ago.
This sounds like
you wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago.
Yeah, we're off. Let's go.
The Biden administration and
keep
its
talking about
allies
Fred.
in Congress gave us the worst
Fred allegedly was arrested at a KKK
in the
rally.
history of our country. But in 12 months, my
Protesting
administration
them, right,
has
Mehdi?
driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years.
There were good people
And in
on
the
both sides,
last
though.
3 months
Oh, there were
of
definitely both
2025, it was down to 1.7%.
Welcome back, Dari.
I love the fact that the way the prompters are set up is they put two screens. For
Yeah,
people who don't
yeah.
know.
Ramble.
And
He
you're
hasn't
just supposed to
rambled
read
about
it
China
naturally.
yet.
That's why they put two. But he's reading one, and then he's switching his body weight to the other. He's super tired. That podium is taking a lot of weight.
Oh, it really
He's
is.
gripping. He is
Under my
gripping.
predecessor,
Also, wait, there's a sheen on the hands I think we need to notice right
now.
now.
yes.
$2.30.
I'm calling
some
it. There's
folds.
a new
And in
makeup.
some places, $1.
His hands look like cadaver
a
hands.
gallon. And
Oh,
when I
classic when he just
visited
makes up gas
the great
prices.
state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
Where?
Where I
Yeah,
went and found the
and, you know,
only gas
when-
station in the country that changed the price
when-
for my visit.
When Democrats are in charge, right? They, it's. I just wanted to say, presidents don't control the oil price.
Dollar.
And the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're
Yeah,
gonna
it
do
wants to
both.
keep the
So
price
this
of
is
housing
where
up.
apparently his
so no
approval
one can
rating has
afford it.
not dipped in people over
And
65.
we are going to keep
or-
it that way.
Yeah, we're
Which
going
is-
to keep the cost
Stock
of
market is
housing up.
at 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In
Ooh,
12 months, I secured
substantially.
commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Low-key, he might not bring up the Middle East at all. Like, he
No,
might
he's
just, like, lie through the economy and,
Really?
like,
I think he's got Iran on the brain
Ta-
somewhere.
Think of
Maybe.
it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a
One thing the
difference.
Democrats need to learn from the Republicans and Donald Trump has said is you just need to learn how to confidently throw around.
Short
the T
time
word.
ago, we were a
Just
dead
trillion.
country.
Just like we're going to have
Now
a
we
trillion.
are the
We're going to bring in
hottest country
$18 trillion
anywhere in the
of.
world. The
Who's
hottest.
fact checking you? Nobody.
Every, 50% of statistics are made up on the spot.
Yeah, indeed. I'm
that's
sure.
true.
But he's a master of it, and I think
18 trillion in a year? I
As
mean,
thousands of new businesses
Sure. I
are
think
he-
forming
didn't
in
he-
factories, plants, and laboratories.
didn't he do a
are
Middle
being
East tour
built.
where he claimed he got
We've
more
added
investment than the GDP of those
70,000
countries?
new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can
bullshit.
believe what they're
Construction
watching.
jobs I thought were
American
super
oil
down.
production
Yeah,
is
they're
up
way
by more
down.
than
Well, he's deporting half of them.
600,000 barrels a
Well,
day.
yeah, 1 in
and
3
we
construction
just
workers, I
received
believe, are immigrants.
from
I
our
don't
new
know.
friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80
And
million
his
I
partner.
just checked the
barrels
tape,
of
by the
oil.
way. Trump did shake Amy Coney Barrett's hand.
Oh. That's good.
Oh, our
That's
new
good.
Friend
partner,
and partner.
Venezuela. Oh, a little part of me died. And of course, everyone who,
American
at
natural
once
gas
thought
production is at an all-time
the
high because I
Bolivarian
kept
Revolution
my
was kind
promise
of cool
to
at one point.
Drill, baby, drill.
Delcy Rodriguez is like, I swear, we're not partners.
Drill, baby, drill.
More Americans are working today than at any time
Is Cash
in the
Patel at the State
history
Union?
of our country. Think about that.
He's on a flight. He's on a flight still.
He's on a private jet somewhere?
Yeah.
And
He had to go catch a concert.
100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
Low key, I have not seen him. I will say.
Cash?
Yeah.
He's hard to, he's easy to miss.
I mean, he was really, really blitzed
We
after just
ended
half a course because he's so
DEI
small.
in America.
Oh, biggest applause of the night. We ended DEI in America. That's diversity,
DEI,
equity,
of
and
course.
inclusion programs.
Yeah,
Well,
fucking
it's
diversity.
officially diversity, equity, inclusion. It really is the new
We've got a
N-word for the
record
Republican
number
Party.
It
of
is,
job-killing
yeah.
regulations,
It
and
is.
in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record off of food stamps.
He kicked him
Yeah,
off.
we
lift
just
them off
we
of-
just we
yeah.
wait. We just
kicked
took
them
them off.
I know.
We
didn't
just
lift them
got
with
rid of it.
Higher incomes. We didn't give them better.
Yeah,
better deals.
yeah, the economy didn't get any better.
They're not eating.
Just kicked him off welfare.
Thousands of hospital beds were emptied between 2020 and 2024. We did an amazing job.
Yeah, they weren't lifted off of it. They lost it, and now they're screwed.
Yep.
That's a pretty good bit, I will say. That's pretty good.
But again, this is kind of that's nothing new for Republicans.
Oh, yeah,
right? This is what
that's
they
traditional.
Our
peddled.
country is
forever.
winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it.
You can stop.
People
You should
are
just
asking
stop.
me, please, 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 Mr.
Stop.
President, we're winning too
Please.
much.
Yeah.
We can't take it anymore. We're
Oh.
not used to winning. in
Yeah,
our
no,
country.
we can't take it anymore.
This is the
Please
first
stop the winning.
imaginary anecdote of the night.
Winning too much.
Often involves a
I
sir
say,
or some
no,
tears,
no.
but
You're
people are
going to
telling
win
him we're
again.
winning too much.
You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger
Drinking.
than ever. And to prove that point,
Oh,
here with us tonight is
Yes,
a
I
group
knew
of
it.
winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's
No, the
gold
hockey players.
medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Come
And,
on in.
you know,
They're gonna-
these
are they doing like a
fucking
march on stage?
hockey
Is there
players
a
should be
Black Hawk
ashamed of
helicopter?
themselves.
Oh,
Okay, that I've not
yes.
seen before.
Wait,
Stay
oh, I really hope
These fucking people should be ashamed of themselves. Happily allowing themselves to be used as political props for a fascist dictator. They should be fucking ashamed of themselves, straight up.
the game winner.
We're just going to be props.
I will say, to be fair, that the guy who scored the game-winning goal, he was the one who said that, and it was part of a longer conversation where he did stick up for his female counterparts. But it's still kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's like obviously
this
so
is a
brainless
political
to say
act.
it's not political. Yeah, yeah. He was saying like everyone needs to stop being so political. And it's
Is he
like,
going to
bro,
mention the
that's
U.S.
exactly what
women's team, even though they
fascists
didn't?
say.
the biggest Fed was in your locker room. Like J. Edgar Hoover's ancestor was in your locker room. What do you mean it wasn't political?
Yeah, it's not
What are you talking
political.
about,
Except
bro?
we're gonna show up to
Yeah,
the fucking
yeah,
State
yeah.
of the Union, and we're gonna put a
Although,
gold medal
I mean,
around the
Cash Patel, if he believes
Cash
in
Patel, the head of
reincarnation.
the FBI.
Wait, but is he going to mention the women's team? Because they also won gold.
I highly doubt it. Because they didn't want to come, so he'd be insulted probably. Also, notice half the team isn't there. I will also note it's like 6 of them.
There's 2 sections. He hasn't seen the other section.
Sorry, I have to just say, but hockey, the whitest sport of them all. And
Oh, wait.
I love hockey, but it has to be.
It is an incredible sport, but yes, demographically in America, it's pretty darn, you know.
Yes.
Look at these.
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at these
Although
fucking
let's not forget these are the
tools.
same Republicans who were happy for other
It's the
Olympians
first
to
time I've ever
lose,
seen them get
even
up.
as Americans, because they dared say they were
And
uncomfortable with what
actually,
was happening in
not
Minnesota.
all of them did get up.
Yeah, yeah.
They beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
Yes. No, they
Oh,
won't.
you said they're coming to the
Look
White
at,
House.
look, at
He's
it, look at that
lying.
little sneer of, I got
fucking
I thought they
lying.
said they're not coming to the White House. So when he says they're coming to the White House, does that mean ICE is bringing them, or like how are they coming out of choice?
They did. I think they initially said no because they were all busy. So maybe he's like really like challenging them. Like, no,
think-
you can come at any time.
Do you think
know,
he'll
to
lay
make
out
them say no.
the spread, the McDonald's hamburger spread that he did in his first term?
the U.S. men's team knows what
These
they're
men
doing
are
next. Like, what's the
embarrassing.
blocking on
They're
this
not- they're not
prop
men.
piece? I don't think they know what to
They
do.
have to cheer for when he's
That's a good
racist
question.
against Somalis later in the.
You know, a real man wouldn't allow himself to be used like a prop like that, like a punk ass bitch.
To Team USA, but I have to say that, and I told them,
But?
so we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there and they weren't about to say no because I'd never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
Is he saying like voting no to come?
Yeah, voting no.
Like, yeah. I would be really embarrassed if he said no, so they all came. Like, what are you talking about?
That is a large man. Sorry, that's so just non-political. That's a Fetterman-sized man.
Yeah.
He's in better shape than Tom.
Fetterman really should have just been a goalkeeper.
He's 6'4", according to Google.
Fetterman?
No, the guy. The
It
goalie,
really is
Connor.
embarrassing.
Yeah. He's a good player.
Oh, he's just lame.
46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick
Okay,
in the back
it's
and it hit
official.
the neck of your stick and bounced off.
Well, he
You
didn't mumble
practiced
it.
that, or was that a little lucky?
Okay. He's got to
Okay,
mumble
answer
something.
that question.
He's really milking this story. I'm
But I
pretty
just
confident
wanna
Donald Trump has never
tell
watched
you
a hockey
that
match prior to
members
this.
of
or
Yeah,
the
even
he's
debate
fucking
this.
hockey
milking the
squad
shit out of this.
We'll be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important.
Okay, what's the vote? Yes.
And I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Means nothing.
Wow.
Means fucking nothing.
I think he's got a thing for Connor. I'm sorry. Like,
I think he's got a thing for medals and prizes.
Yeah.
And hanging things around people's necks and shiny gold objects.
yeah.
And
Golden
anything-
showers as well,
Oh.
allegedly.
Oh
Like,
God. Okay, can we get through this? Some of us have. I mean, I've got to
ooh,
get up
Barry,
to
wait, is that
fast.
Barry? No,
Yeah,
does that just
come
look
on,
like
let's
a
fucking go.
No.
Can I just say, I got to get up tomorrow morning to fast. I got to eat before sunrise.
Why
They-
should
they
you
need
be
to-
eating on?
They
you
need
should-
to move this shit along. They cannot have like a 20-minute NHL diversion.
Special job you did. What
But he
special
can. You know
champions
why,
you are.
Mehdi?
Thank you very much.
He's got
because-
nothing else to talk about.
This is
This is the only good
There's
thing.
nothing else to talk about,
Exactly.
and he's
True.
completely. He's
Yeah.
got
It's an
total
important point.
impunity and immunity. And
If they hadn't won,
Democrats.
he's got nothing to talk about when he has his fake stories of people are telling me we can't stop winning because he's not
Exactly.
winning. We're not winning on
We're
the
not.
tariffs. We're
Not
not winning on the
economically,
economy. We're not winning
not
in
politically.
multiple fields of life.
Yeah,
Also,
wait.
please
What would have been his
stand
crutch if
by
Canada
the
won?
Olympic torches lit.
Like, this is obviously like his one.
He
like-
would have
He's a
annexed
descendant
Canada.
of tariffs.
He would have annexed Canada in response.
28 Olympics, and it's the summer
He's still talking
version.
about the
Still
Olympics. Get the
going.
fuck on with it.
Jesus,
9:30.
shut up.
Mehdi, just snack, bro. You gotta.
No, I've eaten for tonight. I'm just thinking about tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Also, it's funny that even the Olympics is something he can't really bring up without also sparking up conversation about Epstein and ICE.
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
That's a declaration of war. That's a declaration of war on Los Angeles. I am here in LA, and we know what he means by that.
This
He wants
year-
the
Yeah, I must say,
LAPD
I
and
gotta
Karen
vote.
Bass to basically be under his thumb,
First term,
and they often are in Olympic Games around the world, right?
I think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place. And now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World
Yourself.
Cup. So we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming. And that is
No one wants to come.
Quick follow-up, sir. How are they going to get here
Yeah,
if
how
you
are
are
the fans gonna
detaining
make it in?
tourists?
What's going to happen
For-
to the Senegalese fans from the top African team who are on a banned list?
So this will be a year to celebrate.
Well, I guess
our
he said
country
he got it for himself.
and the
Pretty
heroes
straight
who
up.
have kept
I mean,
it free.
serious point, and someone in the
Men like
YouTube chat made this
Buddy
point as well.
Taggart.
It's insane that this
At age
guy
17,
gets re-elected for a
Buddy
second term and
volunteered
gets
to
the
defend
World Cup,
America
the
in
Olympics,
World War
and the
II.
250th birthday
Serving in
all
the
on his watch.
Pacific under the
Like,
great
is he the luckiest
General
man in the
Douglas
history of
MacArthur.
mankind?
And you know what?
He
He'll
fought
still
bravely
fuck
in
them
the
all up.
famous
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Like-
But then our country
so
suffers.
hard.
Yeah.
He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in
The
Luzon.
least deserving man.
And
The
81
Olympics
years
charm.
ago this
Canceled
month,
in
he
LA.
liberated the
There's no
largest
reason.
internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest.
Head of the
in
Olympic
world.
Committee still
But
in
he
the
earned
Epstein
many
files, by the
honors.
way.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. Like, he cannot talk about any of this without bringing up something else. Like, everything is unsafe for him.
July 4th, 2026, his 200th birthday.
Yeah, Casey Wasserman needs to go.
Yeah.
This woman next to this old man keeps trying to encourage him to stand up, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good, man. I did it a few times. I'm good." Want me to drop
Barron is
dead?
taller than the NHL goalie. Just
Yeah,
FYI.
he's like 6. Isn't he like 7 feet?
He's like, let's Google. Let's ask Ayatollah Google.
He's like 6'7", I think.
Oh my God, Ayatollah.
You just want to say 6'7", Prem. It's 6'9".
No, I'm just saying.
You're a
He's
brave man,
6'9".
we salute
6'9".
That's
Even in times of challenge.
For
crazy.
That's crazy. For
Wild.
what?
Like, what's he doing with all that?
Maybe he's a time traveler who's gonna, activate.
It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas.
And your FEMA department did nothing because Republicans ignored it for months.
Matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember
It's
that
disgusting
one?
how he uses
As the
these
waters
deaths
threatened
for
to
political
sweep
purposes.
her away, 11-year-old Millie
Just
Kate
FYI, we're half an hour into the
Raymond
speech.
closed her eyes and prayed to God.
75% more to
She was
go.
going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott
Bullshit.
Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission. A young guy, but very brave, very, very top. Always
Mirel in the YouTube chat says Donald has very low
not just
energy. I
Millie
agree
Kate,
with Mirel.
but 164 others to save.
Concerned Citizen 3476 says Trump looks like Lurch right now, which is quite an interesting analogy.
By the way, the Camp Mystic flood is no feather in Trump's cap, and he should be
No, it's a
ashamed
total
to be talking
failure.
about it.
It's
Dozens of people died.
And
It was
this
very
fucking
preventable.
Survivor being
FEMA
used
took
as a
forever.
political
The
prop.
emergency
God,
weather
it's just
services had been
disgusting.
defunded locally by every Republican leader and every local
no,
leader. They
we
did a
just- I don't have the
disservice to those
Olympics on
children
here.
and those families. They all have blood on their hands, and it's only getting worse.
And it's amazing how we all just moved on from it. I include myself in that, like a shocking
People watched
story that I
Scott
didn't,
from a
And
distance.
actually, right now,
They couldn't
families of
believe
9
what
victims are
was
suing
winds were
Texas for letting them
blowing,
down.
the
That's
rain was
Good.
Governor Abbott's
Good.
Texas.
blowing, and that
Good.
Civil claim in court right
I have
now.
a video on my YouTube channel, Habituation Room. Check out my long form video where I talk about every level of failure in that
We're here
tragedy.
together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate.
30 minutes in, and it's nothing but
27
fucking fluff.
campers and councillors died on July 4th, 2025
Using this
Including the
tragedy
guy whose camp
as a
it was,
fucking
which
political
actually
bludgeon. It's just, ah,
made
shameless.
Has child entered or has cat entered?
Child is trying to enter. This is when you
And
stream
Petty
out of your
Officer
home.
Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank
handing
you.
out more meaningless baubles.
Let's not forget, Donald Trump gave the nation's highest award to Rush Limbaugh, so they're kind of all tainted now, all those awards.
And I'd like to
This
have the
fucking
military
fool
aid to please come down
Should be embarrassed. Letting a fascist
and take care
parade
of
him
the service,
around like a
military
toy.
aid. Thank you very much.
What happened?
Care of that very important service. Thank you.
Just giving him his award, I guess.
From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together, we're building a nation
back off
where
world.
every child has the chance to reach higher and
Lie.
go further.
Lie.
Where government answers
It's never
to the
been harder
people,
for a child
not
in America
the
to
Every
powerful.
child has a
succeed.
chance
Where the
to
interests of
contract
hardworking
measles.
American
This is a
citizens are
super
always
boring
mercury
speech from
poisoning.
Stephen Miller.
concerned.
I mean,
That
I
is
prefer
the
to
debt
watch a
we owe
Donald Trump
to
rally,
the
I'll be honest
heroes
with you.
who came before us.
I prefer hearing
That
about the
is
shark
the
attacks and
promise
the
we
toilet
must keep
flushes. I'm just going
to
to be honest.
America for our 250th year.
Not this shit.
Fillet
Last
the
year, I
mic.
urged this
Fillet
Congress
the
to
mic.
begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you,
The
Republicans.
largest tax cut
Tax
for
cuts
the
that's
1%,
destroying the economy.
the millionaires, the billionaires, making his first
Small
tax
and middle
cuts
class
permanent,
businesses getting completely fucked
allowing
over.
billionaires to do things like write off their private jets. That is what he made permanent. This is what we talk
All
about. When we talk
Democrats,
about the oligarchy.
every single one of
That's who
them
he's delivering
voted
for.
against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts.
They were like really important, okay?
These are tax cuts that gave the top 1% a $50,000 tax
They
cut.
wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead.
The
But
people.
we held
12
strong
people at
and
my
with the
inauguration.
great,
Tax
big,
increases on
beautiful bill,
billionaires.
we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime,
Conditional.
and no tax on Social Security.
Lie.
or on
Conditional.
Lie.
Lies.
That's not true that there's no tax on Social Security. They've been lying about this since last summer. It's a complete lie. It's not in the bill. They just made it up. And they get away with it because we
And
have
the
no
tax on
opposition
tips
and no
thing is
real
fucking
media.
conditional.
Interesting that there's
we
a
also
sort of
made interest on auto
podcasters are not
loans
here. Like,
tax
where's
deductible
Rogan?
the first time, but only if the car is made in America.
Isn't
It
that
is
what
interesting.
Biden did? That's what Biden did.
That is true. I do wonder if like any of the Republicans like tried inviting any of the podcasters that have all either soured on them or are embarrassed now.
Recently in Pennsylvania, I met
Or were they like, it's not even worth it?
The top three Trump
devoted
puffers are all
mom
pretty
who's
embarrassed by him, aren't they?
homeschools
Rogan,
her children,
Schultz, and
beautiful
Theo
two
Von.
children.
Theo Von.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, at least Schultz like seems to be earnestly
Her husband
reflecting and
works
like engaging
overtime,
with the stuff,
operating very heavy equipment.
which is good.
Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to
Kelly?
tell you that
No.
she is so much
Terrifying.
richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime.
First
and
of
our
all,
expanded
this fool has
child
never
tax
tipped
credit
20%
done
in
again by
his life.
Republicans.
He
Megan
has
and her
tipped
husband will take home more
accidentally
than
10%
$5,000
one time. Rich people don't
just a
tip.
year,
Everybody
cutting
knows that.
Her tax bill in more than half.
Megan, where's
Bullshit.
Megan?
Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
Hi, I'm already standing. Anyway, could I have a minimum wage raise? Because it is $7.25. But
Thank
I
you,
guess that's
Megan.
cool.
We're fighting.
Well, I
for
got to
you,
get back to my shift now. So can I go?
Male parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts.
Oh God!
And I
This was good.
Let's go.
This was a good. The Trump accounts was a good idea, objectively.
The naming
Nobody
was
believes me,
political
but I did
genius.
not name it. It was named by a very
Oh,
tall man.
I didn't name them. Nobody believes you. Yeah, nobody fucking believes you, including your family in the balcony.
Wait, okay, but
Tax-free
he had promised
investment
this,
accounts
but guys,
for
it hasn't
every
happened yet.
this is
And
something
I
the
think
first
adjusted for
president
inflation,
taken off
it's
and
like
gone through the
nothing. But
Millions
he's
will
promising
be
what, like
refunded
2,000 in
courtesy
every.
of the U.S. Treasury and private
There you go.
individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6,250 million to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
This is going to end
The
up
great
like
people.
Steve Bannon's wall fundraiser. I mark my words. It is going nowhere. You're gonna get it in Ethereum. It's gonna be like given to you in
You know, I
it's
asked
gonna be
Michael,
like
how do you make all
some
that money? He said,
obscure
"Well, I just sell it
Bitcoin
and I do it and
cryptocurrency.
they make
That is
computers
funny.
and
Like all the like Trump marquee
just
financial
kept
policies
selling
are
and
like
selling
Welcome back,
and
Jesus.
selling.
bastardized versions of like Kamala's one policy platform that was like, if you're like a Pell Grant recipient and are also a small business owner, like you get like this special like high interest loan or something. And it's like that's Trump's version, but like with the Kamala's policy.
Okay, quite frankly, they're fucking talking too much. They're talking too fucking much. Okay,
Recently
we're
in
gonna get
Pennsylvania, I
to a
met
different live
Megan
stream. without them.
Hemhauser,
They're fucking
a
talking.
devoted thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner, thank you, Brad.
These fucking sycophants.
So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more
So
by the time
excited.
they turn 18. Think of it. How
Support
much
of
money is
fascists.
that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. They're setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs.
There it is.
I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars.
It's hurting the economy.
They were ripping us so badly. You all know that. Everybody knows it.
Small
Even the
businesses
Democrats know it.
across
They
the
just don't
board.
want to say it. And yet these
There's
countries
like 2
are
industries
now happy.
that are benefiting from the
And
tariffs.
so are we.
Everyone else
we
is
made
getting
deals.
fucked.
The deals are all done.
The de minimis.
And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong.
Lie.
They got it really wrong.
Yeah.
And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down.
Tariffs are destroying the economy.
Very unfortunate ruling.
And screwing us over in terms of our international
But the
relations.
good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them.
Turmoil right
and
now.
therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes.
None of them
They
were
have been
completed.
tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved.
For 150
and as time
days.
goes by, I believe
and
the
then
tariffs
congressional action will be
paid
necessary.
for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I
lying
love.
about how we're not going to have income tax. We're not going to have income tax. It's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie.
Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a
Nunlik looks
president
like he
who
just
puts
fucking stole
America
the cookie
first.
jar.
Put America first. I love America.
Yeah, you love ripping off America. You love raping. I love America. He's made billions fucking us over already.
For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New Scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons,
drop a transgender
from
for
mental
everyone.
institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen.
Lies.
And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of
What
time.
are you doing there?
Now, the
Leave.
same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that
Just
problem.
sits there and takes it like a good boy. Sits there and fucking takes it. Doesn't even shake his head. Doesn't even shake his head. He's a fucking tool. Fucking Jeff. Doesn't even shake his head.
They knew their statements
Oh
were
wait,
a lie. They knew it.
you're right. There is
They
an
knew their
Olympics. Hold on.
statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
Lie. Fucking skyrocketing. These fucking people, they can't even shake their head. It's just disgusting.
The price of eggs
What are you doing there?
is down
Get up. Leave.
60%. Madam Secretary, thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot.
Lie.
And even beef, which was very high,
Stone
is
cold
starting
lie.
to come down significantly. Just hold on
Lie,
a little
dude.
while. We're getting it down. And soon you will
Steaks have
see
never been
numbers
higher.
that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest
Bold-faced
ripoffs
lie,
of
man.
our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a
And
year.
he's not gonna change a
as
goddamn
their
thing
stock
about
prices
that.
soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I
He is right
introduced
that the
the great
neoliberals
healthcare
allowed these
plan.
fucking
I want
healthcare
to stop
companies to
all
fuck us over.
payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which
He's
would be
gonna get.
better health
If he
care
does,
at
if he
a
does
much
this, it's gonna.
lower
If people
cost.
are gonna die by the fucking millions. $2,000 a year. $2,000 a year for health care. And you got to buy that privately, and he's not going to change a goddamn thing about the private system.
In addition,
it's
my
a disaster
plan
waiting to
requires
happen.
Maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my
It's a
first
fucking
term, and the
disaster
Democrats
waiting to happen.
immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else.
Lies.
I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has
There
never
it
happened
is.
before.
Come on. Plain prescriptions are down by over 100%. Do it. Just leave. Just fucking leave. Sitting there with a
Other
fucking
presidents
frown on your
tried to
face
do
while you're
it,
getting spanked.
But they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action. But I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far
Here we
the
go.
highest prices of any nation anywhere in the
Here we
world
go,
for
prescription
drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere.
Oh, he's got to say the percentage. Is he done lying about the 600%, 800%?
So in my first year of the second term, should be my third
Look at
term.
these fucking clowns.
Strange things happen. I took prescription
4 more
drugs,
years, they're chanting.
a very big part of healthcare, from
Anti-democratic.
the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement.
Welcome
The
back,
result
Muslims.
is price differences of 300, 400, 500,
There it is.
600% and more. All
There it is.
available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that
There
one
it
either,
is.
by the way.
Yeah, he didn't. He doesn't name any of these. Fucking liar.
And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big. Catherine Rayner.
So
For
this
5 years,
it's just a
she and her
clone of
husband
a
have
service that
struggled
already
with
exists where you get
infertility,
some
and
coupons.
they turned to IVF.
It's not a big
One
discount. It's a
drug
fucking
has been
coupon.
costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500. A reduction
not
of
gonna
much
lower the
more,
prices.
actually, than $3,500.
A $500
Catherine, we are
coupon
all praying for you,
on a
and
drug
you're
that
going
you probably
to be
pay
a great
$100
mom.
for in Canada. It's a joke. It's a scam. It's a fucking scam.
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into
Come on, what the fuck? Sorry about that.
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing, I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%.
He's not
John
lowering the
and
prices.
Mike, if
He's
you
not
don't mind,
forcing these
codify it
companies to
anyway.
charge less.
They may do it. Codify it anyway.
He's
Thank
trying
you.
to get other
Many
countries
Americans are
to
also
charge
concerned
more.
that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. It could never handle the kind of
Not
numbers,
happening.
the amount of
This isn't gonna
electricity that's
happen.
needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's
takes
ability to get
fucking
electricity while at the
years
same time lowering prices of
build an
electricity for
electric
you
power
and could
plant.
be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next
Yeah,
number of
what,
years.
a coal
Another
burn
pillar
power
of the
plant?
American
What, a
dream
fucking
that
gas
has been
burn
under
power
attack
plant?
is home ownership.
You
With
gonna let
us
him? You
tonight
gonna let him?
is
You gonna let
Rachel
a
Wiggins,
tech
a mom
company
of
build
two
a fucking
from
nuclear
Houston.
power plant?
She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories
do a
like
fucking
this
thing
are
about that
why last month
predatory
I signed executive order
system.
to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes.
He's not going to change any of that. He's not going to go after BlackRock and Blackstone. They're some of his biggest fucking donors. He's not going to change a fucking
And now
thing
I'm
about that.
asking Congress
He's literally bragging about how he's going to keep the housing prices up. And what is he? No, he's not. He's not going to change a fucking thing about
people,
that.
not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Raysel, thank you very much.
Yeah, I
Good luck
guess
with
so,
your home.
you're
You'll get
tubing.
one soon.
It's just lie after lie after lie.
We're also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors.
wanna
We will
eliminate
always
it.
protect Social Security,
They want to fucking
Medicare,
destroy
Medicare.
Social Security and Medicare. He wants to replace Medicare with the fucking
Since I took
$2,000 a
office,
year
the
scam.
typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. It's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records, your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity,
he's
I'm
gonna bring back
announcing that
pensions.
next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will
No, he's
match your
not.
contribution with up to $1,000 each year.
No, the fuck he
As we
isn't.
ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
His entire party utilizes insider information to trade on the market. And by the way, look at this stupid bitch fucking applaud this. Are you kidding me? She has to know full well it doesn't count for the people that are currently there. It only
They
counts
stood
for
up
new
that.
politicians.
I can't believe.
God damn it. Elizabeth
I can't
Warren is
believe it.
useless.
Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she was here? Doubt it.
His rule doesn't count for Nancy
the
Pelosi.
Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
The Stop Insider Trading Act literally is not enabled for the people sitting in these chairs. They can continue to insider trade all day. It only prevents insider trading for new politicians
even
coming
on this
in.
side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation. And we are
like he gives a shit about corruption.
So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance.
Leave. You should fucking leave. Ilham Omar sitting there shouting things. Come on. This is pathetic. It's a fucking lie. The fraud was already being investigated. And the person who was committing the most fraud was a fucking white American.
Of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the kind of money
if
you're
they
talking
eliminate
about.
the Somali fraud, that's going to balance the
Somali
fucking, how many $1 trillion budget?
Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA.
And leave.
And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games.
With your fucking
Delilah.
They don't even want to shake their head. They don't even want to disagree visibly.
Delilah Colvin was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour. Man, how many dead people is this guy going to trot out for his own political purposes? The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration.
That these individuals would allow themselves to be used as political props. A victim of a horrific crash, and now they're a political tool. How many of these? Is this the third time we've seen this? God, it's just unbelievably dystopian. God, it's so fucking tragic.
Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
I'm pretty sure that was already illegal.
And yesterday,
God, it's just tragic.
As you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never
This is
arrived.
the fourth
Her
or
mother,
fifth
Jacqueline, went home
dead
to
person
look
now?
for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times.
Jesus Christ. And he's trying to claim all illegal immigrants, all
was a
immigrants.
previously arrested illegal alien who had
Even though
broken in
statistically they
and
commit less,
brutally-
less
just
crimes.
brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life.
Jesus Christ. Well, you got the family there
violently
too?
and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in
It's
this
just so
chamber
disgusting.
exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals
Dead
to our
person after dead
country
person
at
after
record
dead person.
numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
That's somehow going to make everyone's lives better. And by the way, he's going after naturalized citizens. He's going after anybody who's brown. He got ICE trying. Yep, there it is. There's the dead person's mother right there. Jesus fucking Christ.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline.
Foolish.
Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room
She's going to get fucking
not only
deported on her
allowed
way out the building.
border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The
They
only thing standing
statistically
between
commit less
Americans and a
crimes.
wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you.
You're more likely to get stabbed and killed by a white guy.
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their
These fucking
snow.
Democratic clowns
We
and
have
their
no money
fucking
because
pins.
of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and
Welcome
show
back, guys.
your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
And look at this, you got one Democrat over here with their goofy ass fucking sign. Walk out. Walk out. What are you doing here? And he's very cleverly using them as political pawns, the Democrats that are sitting there. If you don't stand up, you hate America. And the elongated, fake-ass fucking applause. Like our country's gonna somehow improve to get rid of all the black and brown people. Mark Kelly just sitting there like a punk-ass bitch. Why don't you stand up and leave, dude? up if you don't believe in beating your wife. And they make it easy for Trump to make them look pathetic.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Leave! Leave! Fucking leave! USA! That's what USA stands for now. Bigotry and racism. Arbitrary hatred of black and brown people. No path to citizenship. Stripping people of their citizenship.
Perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
Yeah, the Save America Act. It's going to destroy our elections. It's going to strip the right to vote from millions of women.
Illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. The cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple.
It's going to destroy
all
voting
voters
for
must
women.
show voter ID.
Look, he doesn't even. He can't even get the energy up to shake his fucking head. You know, they just passed a fucking law that's going to let the post office delay mail with no punishment.
And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None.
Completely destroy our elections. It's going to completely destroy our elections.
And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
Leave. Look at them, they're just quibble amongst themselves with their little
And even
pins.
the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want
They're going to make it harder to
identification
get
for the
IDs.
greatest privilege
They're
of
going to
them
make it so
all,
the
voting
post
in
office
America.
can
No,
hold
it's
on
not
to
good.
your ballot.
No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
It's a big priority for him so he can steal the fucking election. Why don't you put a pin on? Put another fucking pin on your lapel. Release the files. They're never going to get voted in again. Over here, they're waiting for the people to vote themselves out of fascism.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John.
They just sit there. They just sit there and take it.
And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as
Here
a
we go,
boy
transgender for
and
everyone.
hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing
like she's
judge refused to
second-guessing her,
return Sage to her parents
being
because
used as a political
they did
pawn.
not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Pathetic. I mean, throwing trans people under the fucking bus.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their
Less than
parents' arms
1%
and
of the
transition them
population.
to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this?
And that's not
we
what
must
happened.
ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
And they just sit there. They just fucking sit there. Man.
Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Waiting for an election that's going to get stolen from you.
Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and
this guy
Everest
loves his
Nevermont.
political puppets.
Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
How hard she bleeds. God, this is really something else.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal.
Lie. Fucking lie. More people than ever are running away from the church.
This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
Racist.
So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his
Yeah,
beliefs.
that's what they want. They want
His
to turn him into a
wonderful
fucking
wife,
martyr.
Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
Getting rich off her dead husband. Fuck Charlie Kirk.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together
thanks for the
to
props there,
reaffirm
Alexander.
that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Oh, please. From the fucking people who support ICE. And these fucking Democrats. God damn it.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible.
Lie.
It's really a beautiful
fucking
thing
lie.
to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell.
A right-winger was
Anya
busted at
Zalewska.
Mar-a-Lago a
In
couple days
2022,
ago
she and
with
her
a
beautiful
shotgun
daughter,
and a gas
so beautiful. What a beautiful young woman. Irina fled war-torn
Nobody commits more political violence than the right
Ukraine
wing.
to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train
Another
when
fucking problem. It's like
deranged
six.
monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body.
Let me guess, a left winger.
No one will ever forget there were people.
The one left winger who
train.
did some shit
No one
last
will
year.
ever forget the expression of terror on
Six fucking
Irina's
political
face as she
props so
looked
far.
up at her
Dead
attacker
people.
in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal set free to kill in America. Came in through open borders. Mrs. Zalewska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
It's like 1 in 5 or 1 in 10 are left wingers, trans people. Half the time, if it's a trans person committing the crime, it's a right-wing trans person. Jesus.
How
And
do you
and
not
they
stand?
they can't wait
How
to
do
be
you not
used as
stand?
political pawns.
I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
Right. While handing out pardons to criminals of all different shapes and sizes. This man pardoned the entire January 6th fucking insurrection.
Starting last summer, I deployed our
There's
National Guard
Massey,
and federal law
supposedly
enforcement
the hero on the left,
to
can't get his
restore
ass off
law and order
MSNBC.
to our most dangerous
Standing up and
cities,
applauding.
including Memphis, Tennessee, big success. New Orleans, Louisiana, big success. And our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington,
Lie.
D.C. How did that happen?
Lie. All right, guys, have a good one.
In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago.
Crime is down everywhere, by the way. It's got nothing to do with him using the fucking military as police.
They don't like to hear that. One of the sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround, was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah
This guy
Beckstrom.
loves his puppets.
After a 4-month deployment, she
Puppets and
voluntarily
props. He's got
extended
the
her
whole
service.
fucking audience
Her
filled
rank
with them.
was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot
sitting
in
on
the
the
head by a
steps?
terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation. She
Look
was
at
shot.
these fucking people.
He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was
Yeah,
sick.
this is
and
MAGA right
deranged.
here.
Shouldn't have
This
been
is
in our
this is
country.
what MAGA looks like.
Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Eva Lee. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed.
That's
She was
7.
a great person. I saw
7
reports on
dead
her that
people
never
so
say anything
far
like
that
it.
he's used as political pawns. Didn't even give him a seat. They got to sit on the fucking steps. First time in his fucking life this guy's ever wore a fucking suit. 7 people, 7 dead people so far used as props.
So sorry. Thank you very much. She's a great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the
victims so
head.
far used as
Neither
political
was expected
props.
to make it.
This
They
is
weren't even
crazy.
given a chance, except
Shameless.
his wonderful mother,
Right, and we're supposed to
named
assume
Melody, who I spoke to the
that
same night.
all the left, all
And
immigrants
she was so
commit
positive.
these crimes.
The doctors thought that Andrew was gone.
All
But
these
his mother
fucking
said,
people,
no,
proud
Mr.
props.
President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay.
Wearing the hat,
This was
man.
a conversation that I had with her that night.
Maybe he's got injuries.
With her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said. Sir,
Ghoulish.
he will be
Ghoulish.
okay. The doctors
Fucking
didn't
grim ass
understand
imagery.
what she was saying.
Right, and it's all the
And
left.
after looking at the results of the damage done, neither
Jesus,
did I.
man.
She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melody? She turned out to be right.
Another proud prop. Another proud pawn of a fascist dictatorship. Destroying our economy. Destroying our fucking country. Pissing on the Constitution. Destroying our electoral system. Proud to stand there. God. It's just pathetic. To survive this tragic situation, only to be used as a pawn for a fascist. Jeez.
Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever
What are we
met.
up to? 8? 8
With
victims
God's
now?
help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death. On
Death,
his way
blood,
to a
slashing.
miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to
Murder.
do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
We're up to 8 victims so far, I think. All these fucking pawns. God. It's just sickening. Sickening.
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of
Another
Sarah
fucking bobble.
Beckstrom,
The
with
third
the award
fucking bobble
created
he's
by our
handing out.
late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
A purple fucking heart. got shot while being in, because he was in D.C. He gets a Purple fucking Heart. He shouldn't have even been there. Doesn't hand it out in an official ceremony either. Hands it out during the fucking State of the Union. Like a fucking bobble. Hey, here you go. Here's the Purple Heart. Here's the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Here you go. Here you go. Jesus Christ.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad.
Hands out a
Our
Purple
country has
fucking
never been
heart.
stronger. My first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? You're sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
Jared Kushner, who's literally the architect of the ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Who's going to be building hotels and fucking resorts on top of the graves of Palestinians.
And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
This guy, he knows it's over. I mean, look at how he's reacting here. He knows this is a fucking farce. He fucking knows it's a farce.
People don't like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next
he looks
one
like
was
he's gonna
about,
fucking retire.
54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco?
Marco
You
Rubio,
have done
who
a
got
great
cucked
job,
by
great
Donald
Secretary
Trump.
of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever. Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that? Nobody thought it was
Yes,
possible.
he did.
Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back. But we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead, of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job. And we're We're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. As president,
Massive
I will
lie.
make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer. Good. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death
His
and hate.
fucking buddy Putin.
They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb.
This fucking
And
draft
we took
dodger,
out Soleimani. I did
God.
that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside
He didn't get us
bomb.
out of Iraq. He didn't get us out of Afghanistan. He wants to get us into a war with Cuba, with Greenland, with Canada.
And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like, 32,000 protests. 32,000
You talking about Iran?
protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America.
No, they won't. No,
After
they
Midnight
fucking
Hammer,
won't.
They were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment again pursuing their sinister.
Holy shit. Holy shit. This motherfucker's going to go to war with Iran. He's going to get a bunch of
We are in
Americans killed.
negotiations with them.
Yet
They wanna
another
make a
Middle
deal, but
East
we-
fucking quagmire. Sorry, folks. I don't know why this is doing this. Almost got that bingo, folks. Stream's cutting out.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
America, ironically, America is the #1 sponsor of terror. I'm no fan of Hezbollah. I'm no fan of the fucking theocracy in Iran, okay? Yeah, this goddamn stream's cutting out. Is it cutting out for Medi as well? Oh, good. They got rid of the bituation room there.
Because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective.
How? How has our military entanglements been effective for us? How?
So thanks to Republicans in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because, as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed at my very
Lindsey
strong
Graham,
request
who fucking works for Israel.
to pay 5% of
Fucking works for Israel over here.
GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 4. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily with one meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up.
I think he's
Now
talking about
5%
NATO.
then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us
Elijah,
in
you're
full.
finally here.
They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently. And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of
The Democrats want this.
$1,776.
They want war with Iran because of their ties to Israel. So they actually support this. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, the entire Democratic Party have barely made a
the money
fucking
from
peep.
tariffs and other things. A lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, "What's the number?" $1,775. I said, "Wait a
Elijah,
minute. For one
good luck,
more
man.
dollar, we can have
Are you brown?
$1,776. Let's go to." I said, "We're going to figure that." I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar. I said $1,776. And I said, "That's good." And I'll tell you what, our military.
Oh,
that
he's
was
talking about this fucking
4
money
months
that he's
ago, our
claiming to
military.
give to
I
the
never see a
military.
person in the military that
Not
doesn't
happening.
thank me for it. So we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And said we caught 1776. It was great. And we love our military.
hope
we
you
love
get
our
it,
law
Elijah.
enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen.
Yeah, you
We're
might get
also-
deported by ICE when you get there, man. Be careful. These fucking tools standing up for this fake check that they're gonna send to the fucking troops. My God, the Democrats.
We're also
are-
restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
Fentanyl, by the way, taken by pregnant women in hospitals. Okay? Something that's used every single day in hospitals across the fucking
And with
nation.
our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually
Why?
stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that.
Voted illegally. That's not
Very
going to help your
seriously
case.
damaged their fishing industry also.
By the
Nobody
way,
wants-
if you had
nobody
voted
wants to go
illegally,
fishing
you'd be in
anymore.
fucking jail.
We've also
it's
taken
not
down one of
easy
the
to
most
just
sinister
pop
cartel
a fake vote
kingpins
in
of
the
all.
fucking
You saw
mail.
that yesterday. In January,
You don't just get away with that. You don't just put a little slip of paper in. Well, way to fuck yourself over. Now I don't think you're telling the truth, Elijah.
in January, elite American warriors carried out one of the
You're
most
applying for
complex,
asylum, but you're
spectacular
taking
feats
the
of
time to vote
military
illegally, and
competence
you
and
describe it as
power
voting illegally?
in
I don't
world
believe
history.
you,
No
dude.
one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched, they saw what happened. This is a different fighting force than we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it. Look at Space Force is my baby.
I'm doing
we
it.
did that. My baby is becoming so important.
Mumble something incoherently.
And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy with fighters.
What are we talking
To
about?
end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American
Venezuela.
justice.
Right. The failed regime change. The vice president took over.
And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United
Colossal
States. And it
victory?
also opens
It's a
up a
joke.
bright new beginning.
He got a couple
for the
drops of
people
oil and he put that money in his
Venezuela.
own fucking
We're
pocket.
working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic
Yeah,
gains
the
for
VP of the
both
same
of our
regime that he
countries and
says
to
he
bring new
overturned.
hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person.
Why don't you give him a Purple
Enrique,
Heart?
please come down.
Huh? Give him a fucking Presidential Medal of Freedom, too, while you're at it. Are those some Democrats actually fucking leaving? Victim prop number fucking 9. God, he's stacked the entire crowd with a bunch of fucking props. Thank you for the regime change, President Trump. Now look, once again, I'm not a fan of Maduro. He was a dictator. But the VP that's taken over hasn't changed a goddamn thing. She's now the dictator-in-chief.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique.
Good, now get the fuck out of here.
There were many heroes on that
Political token
January
spat.
raid
Now
to
get the fuck
capture
out.
Maduro.
Get the
Really
fuck
great
out.
heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of
This is unbearable.
military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover,
He's going to give him a little fucking
planned
bobble.
the mission and was
He's going to give
the
him a little fucking
flight lead in the cockpit of
medal,
the first
isn't he?
helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog
Unbearable,
tags,
man.
his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This
Getting
was
real
a
close to that
major
bingo, folks.
military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces.
Victim number 10.
And yet, despite the fact that the use of his
Victim
legs
prop
was
number
vital
10.
to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter.
Bloody.
To deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain.
Slashed, killed.
Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing
didn't
blood,
even
which
hear
was
about
flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business,
Yeah, fucking
saving
Bone
the lives
Spurs
of
over
his
here
fellow
with the fucking
warriors
war
from what could
stories.
have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory.
Victim prop number
Only
10.
after safely landing the
10
helicopter
victim
with all
props.
the warriors
It's
aboard
blowing my mind. How many
in
more
the
has he got
exact
in the
right
crowd?
spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that
Economy's
didn't
in the
happen.
fucking shitter. He's destroying
Eric
the
told
elections,
his
pissing on the
co-pilot,
Constitution,
also
destroying the
wounded,
judicial
but not
branch.
as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's
Man, the
happened to his
graphic
legs
depictions.
of the bullets, and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife Amy, Eric, and Amy. Come on in.
Come on down, victim prop number 10. Come on down. Here's another prop, folks. Isn't he beautiful? Another token. Here's another token, folks. Let me describe in detail how he was shot because of the decisions that I made. Little fake regime change that I did, little pretend regime change. By the way, Maduro was like, let's make a deal. Maduro was like, come on in, baby, drill, baby, drill. Yep, there's his little bauble. There's his little fucking trophy. There's his goddamn medal. Jesus Christ. There used to be ceremonies for this
So we
stuff.
have a
Now it's the State of the
surprise.
fucking Union.
Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
So he's handed out a Presidential Medal of Freedom, a fucking Purple Heart, and now this fucking thing. This is a joke. This is a joke. This is supposed to be honoring the military. This guy and the Purple Heart guy were put in danger by Donald Trump's terrible decision. This is fucking unbelievable. No special ceremony, by the way. Uses them as a fucking political prop during his State of the Union address. Wow. Just beyond shameless. Prop number 10, token number 10. Gets handed a fucking bauble for a shitty regime change that didn't change a regime. Some terrible decision that Donald Trump made that resulted in nothing. Oil that he stole from Venezuela, that sold and then put the money in his own fucking slush fund. This is just unbelievable.
Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy.
I'm watching my
Great
kids
to
start
get to know
Tribune.
you.
Welcome
We
back.
met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg. We have it back. We brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from
This
that
is disgusting.
incredible night of victory
it's
will also be
disgusting what
receiving
we're
medals
seeing.
at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House. And
Okay, so he is going to do a separate ceremony for the Congressional Medal of fucking Freedom. Go ahead and use it as a prop. You get a twofer out of this one. And what about the Purple Heart guy? Purple Heart going to get a special ceremony? Am I a good prop, honey? Am I a good token?
Thank you, Errol.
All right, now get the fuck
That's
out
a
of
big
here.
one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but
He was shot up
there is
during the
one last
during the
living legend to honor before we
bogus
go.
Venezuela
He
regime
is
change
one more
bullshit.
heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II,
Holy
Korea,
shit.
Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions.
So that's what this
In
guy's
the skies
about.
over Korea in
Prop
1952,
number 11.
Royce was in the dogfight of a
Holy
lifetime.
shit!
Legendary
It is
dogfight.
just a
Flying
cavalcade of
through
political
blizzard
fucking props.
conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned,
And he's just
Royce
eager to be used
led
by
the
a
takedown of
fascist,
4
by a
enemy
fucking
jets and
bone spur
almost destroyed the others,
fascist.
vanquishing his adversaries while taking
This World War II hero.
263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves.
Is that why he fought?
He was a
fought against
legend
the
long
fucking
before
fascists.
this evening. Royce,
He fought
please
against
stand
the
up,
fucking
and I will
fascists.
ask the
Only
First
be
Lady of
used
the
as a
United
token
States
for the
to
modern
present Captain
fascists.
Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
And we're handing out another fucking bauble. Well, this guy earned it. At least this guy earned it. At least this fucking guy earned it. Fought in World War II against the goddamn Nazis. Now he's getting an award from a fascist. Doesn't even fit him. Getting a fucking award from a fascist that was fighting the Nazis. Jesus Christ, man. The irony of this, the disgusting irony. Fought against the Nazis only to be used by a fascist as a political prop. No. The irony. It's dripping. Actual hero being used, who fought and killed fascists in World War II, being used by a fascist at his political lowest. Holy
Royce, and
shit!
thank you,
The
Errol.
irony.
I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know,
wants
that's our
to give
highest
the
honor,
fucking medal
Congressional
to
Medal of Honor, and
himself?
that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you.
He asked if he can give himself the Congressional Medal of fucking Honor. This man fought in World War II. Donald Trump wants to stand next to him with the same fucking honor.
Thank you.
Holy shit!
250 years is a long time in
Holy
the life
shit.
of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July Fourth, 1826, the author of the Declaration of
I wanted to give it to myself, you know, but they
Independence,
won't let me do it.
Thomas
But maybe one
Jefferson,
day,
to
hey,
his
you know, I'll
last
change the
breath.
law. Hey.
Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight.
Gobsmacking.
Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities.
I'm gonna fucking puke.
Together we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel, and then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride.
Shit.
We wired the globe with our ingenuity.
Oh, they got him
we
doped up.
captivated the planet with
They always get him
American
doped up for
culture.
these. Look at his
And
hands. They
now
look
we
like
are
cadaver
pioneering
hands.
the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended
We
this
might
country,
not have a country
and
when
who
he's
still
done.
carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's
250
backs.
years of this
For years
experiment.
they were
It might end
forgotten,
with him.
betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim.
Shut up.
For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us.
Oh, he's
The
happy.
revolution
He's a
that
proud
began in
bootlicker. Mike Johnson.
1776 has
He'll
not
be
ended.
sleeping like a
It
baby
still
tonight.
continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Come out
Thank
of it.
you, God bless you, and
Here we
God
go.
bless
Sorry to
America.
interrupt. We're done. He
It's
broke the
fucking
record and
over.
he shut
Thank
the fuck
God.
up.
Wait, but he stopped before 2 hours?
I'm tearing
No, he
up.
doesn't have the stamina.
Yo. Wait, that's crazy too because they planted stories saying it'll be 2 to 2.5 hours and then only getting 145. That's cringe.
Is he going to shake John Fetterman's hand again?
I mean,
Are
yeah, they
gonna, like,
I hope
bragged
so.
it'd be
have a
2 to
hug?
3 hours exactly. They kind of spun us
Wow,
in the
and
wrong
we
direction.
didn't get our bingo.
Cringe. Yo, he failed expectations. That's cringe.
Yeah, whatever. Cringe, whatever. Who gives a shit? Look, we didn't get our fucking bingo, folks. This sucks. He didn't even give us a bingo.
We know there's going to be a Democratic response from Abigail Spanberger.
From fucking
I called it
Spanberger
days in advance. I
again?
knew the Democrats would pick either her or Mikey Sherrill. She's the governor
Abigail
of Virginia, just
Spanberger
won a
fucking
race quite comfortably in an important state
They're
for the
trying to make
Democrats. She's a former
Spanberger a
CIA
thing.
agent.
This
She's a former
bog
House
standard
member.
corporate Democrat
and
who
she
couldn't
is
stand
gonna
out in
give
the crowd if
Democratic
she was
response.
made out of
We will keep
highlighter
an eye
ink.
on that. John Harwood, Zateo columnist, veteran political commentator, will be joining us shortly. But Prem and Swin, dare I ask, what do you make of that speech?
I'll go quickly. I think we're going to be writing more about this in the morning. It's Ateo.com. But look,
First draft.
It was incredibly boring. There was so much implicit and explicit begging in this.
11
that it
political
often sounded
victim
like
tokens.
President Gil Gunderson from The Simpsons instead of President Donald Trump. He just kept begging over and over and over again the American people who keep blaming him for the shitty economy and everything else that's going on in the country. Please don't hate me. Please like me. Please blame sleepy Joe Biden and the corrupt Democrats. Leave me alone. So there were like things that were unintentionally funny about the speech, especially how soporific and sleepy it was without a hint of self-awareness.
Yes.
But I think all of that threatens to mask the fact that this was the most openly racist State of the Union I have
Massively
seen in my
racist.
entire life.
The
And
way
I'm
that he
sure many
described
people who are
immigrants
watching,
and
who are
Somalis.
perhaps older than I am have seen within at least decades of American life. I don't want to get too melodramatic about how repulsive it was, but that midsection, the core of the speech, maybe the part that Donald Trump got
was right about.
genius
Look, the guy's
where he turned it
begging. The
into
Trump
a-
was right about everything. Guy was begging.
basically
Look, and Trump ignores him.
reality TV-ified
Trump
clan
ignores the.
rally
Okay, he's gonna get a
was
selfie with the guy.
atrocious. It was an abomination.
God, it's
and
pathetic.
Millions upon millions upon millions of
Where's this
Americans are
fucking Trump
subject
was
to this
right about everything? Had
televised
can barely get a
abomination that we
millisecond
just
with the man.
witnessed. And I'll search for more.
Let me just, before I go to Prem, let me just read out the line. He says that he's going to, he said, I'm officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance. He'll get it done, and if we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. Ridiculous thing to say, by the way. That's the kind of money you're talking about. No, we're not. We'll balance our budget. No, we won't. The Somali pirates, he says, who ransacked Minnesota, remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm. Yeah, it's called the Oval Office, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. So much racism and nonsense in that statement. Prem.
I first totally agree with both of your points that, like, we cannot understate how viciously racist and disgusting the speech was. It also feels so much like the dying whispers of whatever is left of this party, insofar as, like, I think of last year that
They're
I
all
think it was
so
New York
proud.
Mag or whichever magazine cover that suggested, you know, the Republicans are the Ku
destroying
Klux
the
Club
Republican
now.
Party.
And that lasted a very short amount of time, I think largely just because of the manifestations and fruition of what this party was going to do anyways. But there is no needle moving out of this. Like, nothing from this speech will put any water on all the fires this administration is currently facing. There's nothing affirmative or interesting or exciting or even just challenging about what they're presenting. And I think what makes this more almost just simply sad in a way was how robotic the, you know, Republican side of the chamber was in their applause. Like, of course, that's not a surprise. You know, this party is completely subservient to Trump. It has been ever since he
The chair
had his
declares
rise in
the joint
2016.
session of the two houses now dissolved.
I think it's a key point that he didn't do anything to put out any fires. This is
Nothing.
classic
No.
Trump.
Nothing.
He has no interest in
Blew
engaging
right
with
past
critics.
all of his
He has no interest
controversies.
in persuading
They're
people
not
who
even
are
happening.
persuadable. He has no interest, of course, in uniting the country. What a ridiculous thing to even say anywhere in the vicinity of Donald Trump. And therefore, his numbers continue to crash. And they're behaving like a party that doesn't need to worry about poll ratings because they know
they're
maybe
behaving
there's
like a
not gonna
party
be
that
another
doesn't
free
need to
and
worry
fair
about
That's exactly it. I will just say it's interesting that the most zealous thing that they have been committed to amid all the crises they're facing is strictly and only the Save America Act, because that is their last branch
Hitting the
to
Senate
have
soon?
any sense of
That's
saving
it.
face, because they know
They gotta fuck
there's
the elections,
nothing about
stay
them
in
that excites
power.
people or interests people. Like, it's
Yeah,
all
I think
just
Zateo's
either
gonna cut
blatantly
to the
terrible
response.
or just off-putting, and everything about them is
But
off-putting.
you might as well leave. We all know what it's going to be.
Mainstream
For what purpose
media
does the gentleman
critique
from
or
Louisiana
bashing
seek
their detail
recognition?
as we
Mr.
should.
Speaker, I move that the message of the president be referred to the
Hold on,
committee of the
Swin.
whole.
Let's get
on the
rid of
State
Steve
of the
Scalise
Union
off the
and
screen. No one
pre-ordered
needs to see
printing.
this. If
Not
we
objection.
still want to stick around for the Democratic response, we will. But for now, Swin, go on.
If you watched a lot of the commentary on network TV, on cable news, and elsewhere leading up to the very moments of Donald Trump walking into that chamber to deliver this so-called address, so many people were saying, okay, his numbers are tanking, maybe not on the border, but comes to Renee Good and Alex Preddy, there's so much that the American people are concerned about when it comes to his immigration agenda, something that used to be a strong suit and a very well-polling thing for him. There was so much of this that I was consuming, including on ABC News in the run-up earlier tonight, where it really made it sound like the American people in poll after poll are telling Donald Trump, oh, if it weren't just for Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minnesota and their extrajudicial killings, we'd be all for what you were doing on the border and in terms of deportations. It's not. It's not. His numbers are crashing on not just the extrajudicial killings, but on immigration across the board. Even his numbers
and he's
on the
doubling
border.
down. He's doubling down like it's a slam
so
dunk
this
winner.
idea in too much of the American commentariat and media that if only he could refine himself around the edges, his mass deportation agenda would be as popular as it was polling in mid and early.
Yeah, this is a great point.
That's not the case at all. It is
it's a massive loser.
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 unpopular agenda, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, in a way that the American media has not caught up to because they're living in a fucking bubble.
Indeed. And on that note, let's bring in John Harwood, Zeteo columnist, veteran political journalist, ex-CNN, ex-CNBC, has interviewed a bunch of presidents of the United States. So I've got to start with the obvious question, John. What did you make of that performance from that president?
It was grotesque. This is a president who
foolish
has not helped the country. He's actually hurt the country. People know it. That's why his approval rating's at 36%.
Graphic depictions of
in the
death
most
and
recent
violence.
CNN poll. And he tried to cover that by telling lurid stories designed to inspire hate in particular groups of people. And he tried to bask in the reflected glory of heroes.
Yeah.
This, as a president who himself is a criminal, himself is a draft dodger, himself has been adjudicated
handing out
guilty
baubles
of
and
sexual
medals
assault.
to actual heroes. Couple of them.
He made so many.
He was directly responsible
claims.
for getting hurt.
Almost everything he said that was narrowly sounding factual was made up. You know, things like I inherited the largest inflation in history and now I've cut it down. No, that didn't happen. We were members of his MAGA
Dozens
base.
of lies.
So the good news is this is not going to make any difference. State of the Unions don't move the needle anymore. And particularly when the American people are watching a president, to the extent that anybody tuned in or stayed in for the entire 2 hours,
holy shit,
they're not going to be persuaded that what they're experiencing in their own lives is wrong because they listened to this disturbed president rant for 2 hours.
Prem, you mentioned that earlier as well. This idea of like moving the needle. Like, you've got to wonder, who are these people who work in the Trump White House? I'm going to come to Swin in a moment, who talks to a lot of these people on a daily basis. But the idea that Stephen Miller and co. would sit around and say, this 2-hour scream
is
what's going to return our poll numbers from the mid-30s to the high 40s.
I mean, to me, this should hopefully, for any observer, be the final sort of nail in the coffin of the illusion that, like, the right-wing movement
I can't believe we didn't get a
is
bingo,
interested in this mythical practice of mind changing. I mean, you know, they were honoring Charlie Kirk tonight as, you know, once again, someone that they hail as like this king of discourse. Everything about this movement is actively anti-political. It's anti-political in terms
what's
of
shocking,
civil
though,
discourse,
Bound, is
of
that
meeting your
their
fellow
poll
person where
numbers
they are and
are,
trying to
their
understand them
approval
better.
is shit.
It's also anti-political in the sense that they're not interested in like genuinely presenting a
kicking
worldview
Republicans'
and
asses.
changing someone's mind. I
That's
mean,
how
it's
bad
all
the
about
situation
imposition. It's all about forcing, you know, themselves down our throats. Something, of course, many of these people unfortunately have a lot of experience with, and all the vicious actions they've done in their pasts. And so, I mean, I don't know. To me, my hope, given how much they're behaving like they're not afraid of elections, is that the masses in this country can at least understand that they deserve some self-respect and dignity.
Thanks, Ernie.
That A, they shouldn't have to put their names behind this viciousness, and B, you ought to have, you know, politicians respect you enough to at least try to change your mind on things.
So on that, Swin, what is the theory of change in the Trump White House, on the Trump team? in terms of
I do.
midterms.
My
in
hair.
terms
I wanted to
let's
take a
park
shower. I
2020.
didn't have
Let's just deal
time.
with
I
November
fell asleep on the
midterms.
couch.
Is it the case that they just think, well, we've lost, fuck it, it's midterms, president always loses? Is it the case, actually, the SAVE Act and ICE at the polls are going to allow us basically to rig these elections or suppress the vote? Or is it, number three, we actually think this nonsense Trump said tonight about fraud and Somalis and $18
I think it's a little bit of everything
investment
that
works on the American
Mehdi
people?
is saying. A little bit of all.
To differing degrees, it's a little bit of a column A, it's a little bit of column B, and it's a little bit of column C. But I'm going to start with column B because I think that's crucial in terms of whether it's the redistricting wars that
they're going to steal the
Donald
fucking
Trump
election.
started, and now it looks like the Democrats are actually winning that fight. When it comes to their flirtation with the idea of sending armed thugs to the polls in November, when it comes to the SAVE Act, when it comes
but one side
to
is telling the
different
truth.
State
One side is
Republican
actually
parties are
rigging
doing
it.
at Donald
Democrats
Trump's
didn't rig
behest
shit.
in terms of trying to skew future election results and
matters.
processes in their direction. I could go on and on and on, including but not limited to how Donald Trump is currently rigging the U.S. intelligence apparatus to try to
pulling out all the stops.
justify or somehow legitimize his conspiracy election-related bullshit about the 2020 election, so he can keep trying to rig elections in the future. The Republican Party and Donald Trump are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the American people between now and November to try to skew the election in this direction for
Not
a
skew,
2026
steal.
midterms that they all know, whether they publicly admit it or not, they are currently on track to getting their asses handed to him.
And I should remind people watching that, of course, Joe Biden didn't get his ass handed to him in the 2022 midterm,
zombie,
which
lie,
at the time was
knowing
kind of,
damn
wow,
well that
that's
his side
impressive,
commits more
and filled
political
Democrats with a lot of
violence
confidence.
than any
In
other
hindsight,
political
probably
entity.
made them hold on to Joe Biden longer than they should have done. But
Way too confident.
Exactly,
That's
a
how Donald
conversation for
Trump
another day.
lies.
But John,
Remember,
something I said when Trump
Donald
walked
Trump
out,
called
I
the
said to
FBI
Prem and
to
Francesca
thank them
earlier
for
tonight.
arresting
When
Jeffrey
he walked
Epstein.
out and they said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States," or the pomp and circumstances of the State of the Union.
Yeah, that's not what's going to happen.
We are
Bound.
11 years into Donald
They're
Trump
going to make
being
getting
on
an
the
ID
stage.
harder.
We are 5 years into Donald
They've
Trump's
just
two
made it. They just
presidencies.
made it legal for
I'm
the
still
post
the guy
office
who
to
goes,
hold your ballot.
Really? And John, I'm sorry, I'm going to make an age reference here. You probably understand this age reference. Swin and Prem won't. But to me, it feels like Bobby Ewing at the end of that Dallas series. I want him to come out of the
talking
shower
about
and say, it was
Dallas?
all a dream. This can't be real, can it? As someone who has dealt with actual real presidents, grown-up people, normal people, dare I say.
Voter
What do
ID
you
is
think
how
when you
you-
hear
is
President
another
of the United
technique to
States coming out
suppress
and
the
go-
vote.
Can you rub your eyes with disbelief?
I think about how much Donald Trump has degraded our national life, degraded the
Gonna make it
national
harder to get
government,
IDs.
degraded the Republican Party.
Millions of women are going to get disenfranchised out
actually
of the
a
vote
pitiful
because they
display
took their
you know, in the
husband's
past,
last name.
even presidents are partisan figures.
Millions of
okay?
people don't have,
and so they act in partisan ways.
certain
Democrat
forms
and
of
Republican.
ID,
But they
and they're going to
all
require
have some
2 or
modicum
more.
of dignity, of respect for
DMV is going to be
the American system,
swamped with requests.
respect
People
for
aren't going to be able to get
democracy,
their IDs.
Respect for
It's a voter
civil
suppression
discourse.
tactic. It's not about
Donald Trump is
security
so
or verification.
crude and so dishonest and so
In the last 20 years,
nakedly
we've had
incompetent.
77 instances
It
of
is,
illegal votes.
It's a spectacle
77
that
in
I'll
the last
never get used
20
to seeing.
years.
And I think Prem earlier made the point
There's
that's
no
the right one.
fraud in the system.
They don't have reason. They don't have rationality. They don't have facts. The only thing that they have
Thank you again,
is
Lenny.
blunt
Appreciate it
force.
very much.
Force
You have
exerted
yourself a
on the
good one.
Republican
Good luck
Party
with
to
these
do what
terrorists.
Donald Trump wants, and the force that Donald Trump can exert on American communities using thugs looking for immigrants or potentially trying to interfere with the election. I think that there's some reason to hope that the breadth of his opposition is sufficient to, and the fact that courts are beginning more than they had before to stand up, that he is not going to be able to apply force to tilt the outcome of this election. But we're going to have to see.
Swin?
Yeah, zombie. Yeah.
Something I want to
if this
add
passes
to what
in
we
the
were talking
Senate,
about earlier. Yes, there is
If
an
this
element
passes
of,
it, the
okay,
SAVE
how
Act
can we try
passes
to
in the
rig
Senate?
2026 as much as possible? Yes, there is an element of wishful thinking and denial about how bad things are getting in certain upper echelons of Trump world. But something else that I think our audience should keep in mind is one of the reasons they are acting the way they are from a political, rhetorical, and policy standpoint is because some of the more self-aware ones in the upper orbit of Trumplandia and the White House know that the midterms are probably
I didn't catch that,
be,
Zombie. They voted for it.
A bloodbath electorally for them. They're not sure exactly how much. 2018, more than 2018, maybe a little bit less severe. We shall see. But they have calculated, and if you talk to senior administration officials, as we do every week here at Zateo, about where their head's at on this, some of them will candidly say,
irony is dead, dude.
We don't have that much time until we lose the House and maybe even the Senate.
A World War II veteran
need to do what
praising
we
a fascist
need to do between now
irony
and then,
is
including
dead.
with our immigration and militarized crackdowns across the country. So the thing that is sinking them even further in the polls and potentially making 2026 even more of an electoral bloodbath for them is the very thing that they see as the objective to get done between now and early next year when the new Congress is sworn in.
Before I bring Prem back in, John, Swin's mentioned a couple of times now the midterms and the bloodbath. The fact that the Senate is even in play is astonishing. We had a poll out today that Graham Plattner would wipe the floor, not just with Janet Mills, the sitting governor in the Democratic primary, but even Susan Collins, who so many people, including yours truly, are desperate to see the back of. Let me ask you this, John. That would mean that Chuck Schumer would be majority leader again, and Hakeem Jeffries would be speaker for the first time. A lot of people out there, including me, are not sure that they're up to the task of holding Trump to account and stopping the ICE excesses and fighting for free and fair elections in 2028. You know both men. What could they do, in your view, to restrain the Trump?
They're not going to restrain ICE. They're not going to do shit about the fucking Supreme Court.
Budgetary constraints. They can.
They're not going to investigate Trump for all of his crimes.
There's the investigative apparatus of the Congress, which they can wield.
They're not going to do any of that.
President. I think if they take the Senate, they can block his nominees. Now he'll try to figure out ways to get actings and recess appointments and that sort of thing in. But he can be slowed down in stacking the judiciary, stacking his administration, staffing his administration.
The Democrats will still approve these fucking Trump
priorities
judges
in the way that he wants to do. So I think that they would make quite a large difference. Obviously, the only thing that's going to make a comprehensive difference is if you elect a different president in 2028.
They'll still approve judges.
And that's the big question. A different president from a different party, let alone Trump. Prem, you mentioned earlier,
if the Democrats get the Senate and the House, they're not going to slow down Trump at all. They're not even going to do an impeachment.
If you're Joe Rogan, if you're Andrew Schultz, if you're Theo Von to a lesser extent, and you watch this speech tonight, you're not reassured at all on the Epstein front, because of course Epstein didn't get a mention, as you and I said it wouldn't. And of course you get the neocon Iran line that he just dished out. Bigger state-sponsored terrorism, can't have
yet
nuclear
another
weapon,
Middle
all the
East
usual
war.
talking points. That part of the MAGA base is surely not reassured tonight.
Not at all. And I know, there's been a lot of folks who might have their qualms with, podcasters or prominent figures who either didn't say anything or were actively in support of Trump. I think for our purposes and for my purposes specifically, I at least see them, or at least their audiences, as earnest operators as much as I can. And I think insofar as I can deduce them as being earnest, anything that they're compassionate or sort of interested in was not addressed tonight, or was made worse. I mean, we were talking about this in the live stream. There was no sense at any point of this speech that he was actively trying to put water on any of the fires that are currently, as Swin is saying, making his administration so bad and potentially so toxically bad that they're making it even more bad by trying to do everything they can before the election.
He thinks he's been exonerated by Epstein.
And so,
guy wants to get himself a Congressional Medal of fucking Freedom.
As far as I can determine, that those people in those spheres, whether they're actual podcasters or listeners, none of this tonight would have moved them an inch. Either they're kind of still off put, or at least confused, or maybe just disinterested now.
This didn't change
or at worst,
fucking,
they're actively pretty radicalized against this guy and a lot of what he represents. I mean, I think obviously the best time for someone to see the villainy,
Epstein
and
stuff, and we're starting a new war in Iran.
Pedophilic administration was yesterday. The next best time is today. And so if people come to that decision now, that's better than nothing. And I think that is happening.
Well,
go on, Swin.
Mehdi, you mentioned Andrew Schultz a moment ago, and I know he's just one of a number of these rogues galleries of individuals, but he is now pretty avowedly and openly anti-Trump. Like Joe Rogan will every once in a while say a thing here and there, same with Theo Vaughn about things
He's
that make
spoken
them
this most strongly against Trump.
Era. But no, Andrew Schultz is kind of a figurehead right now about the contingent of the individuals and the influencers you're talking about, who is just done a dramatic break. Said, no, I'm not for this at all, 110%.
Rogan's going to be the last one. He can't because he's close friends with Elon and Peter Thiel.
Yeah, and the secret police, the ICE thugs, the murders, and I mean, yes, at the end of the day, he's just an avatar. He's just a guy. He's a comic, whatever he wants to be called. But it is representative of the Gen Z voters and the young men who helped put Donald Trump over the top in late 2024, who poll after poll after poll recently has shown are aggressively drifting away from this administration.
We were told by the very serious people, as Paul Krugman calls them, that the youth vote had realigned for the Republican Party. We were seeing brand new coalitions.
These young guys who voted for Trump, they're not going to show up.
John, I want to give you the last word on a broader topic than Trump before we wrap tonight, because it's been a long night.
They're not going to vote.
But I want to say, we keep talking about Trump, but let's not forget the Republican Party that created Trump, enabled Trump, continues to carry water for Trump in the worst of situations. Ilhan Omar heckled Trump tonight and said, "You're killing Americans." And the GOP turned and shouted, "USA, USA" at her. We know what they have said about Somalis, what they've said about Ilhan Omar, what they've said about Rashida Tlaib. Al Green tonight was removed from a second Trump speech in Congress running after holding up a very appropriate sign saying black people are not apes. Because Donald Trump, just a couple of weeks ago, I know it feels like 2,000 years ago, posted an image of the Obamas as gorillas and really never apologized. The Republican Party in all of this, that's the real story. I mean, historians will look back and look at this Carnival Barker. They'll look at this guy from Home Alone 2. They'll look at the damage he did. But fundamentally, he took the Republican Party with him, and they allowed themselves to be taken for this ride.
No, they're happy to
That's
do
right,
it.
and they were on this ride before
Smiles
Donald Trump
and handshakes.
came along. The Republican Party's moral and intellectual collapse has been going on for quite a long time. The root cause was the decision during the height of the civil rights movement to embrace white Southerners' resistance to civil rights and milk that for votes. And as the country has drifted closer and closer to becoming a majority-minority country, which is going to happen, the intensity of the political exploitation, the demagoguery has increased. You remember when Barack Obama was reelected, the Republican Party leadership said we have to change, we have to modernize, we have to reach out to other voters, and Trump came and steamrolled that process. So we're now in a situation where they're not popular. He's not popular. They have a narrow majority. They are keeping in Congress somebody who had a sexual affair and browbeat an aide to the point that she set herself on fire and killed herself, and they are not pressing him to resign.
No censure, no pressure to resign.
Majority in Congress.
Sex crime. The party is sex crimes and pedophilia.
Amoral institution at this point, and I think it's headed for a very major defeat. And I think that needs to happen for the good of the country.
Only if fair elections can be held.
The world watching this, to people abroad. Do as we wrap this up, do stick in the chat where you're watching from. I know we've got a lot of subscribers watching globally. People are up early in the UK and elsewhere watching in Australia. I think the world needs this to happen. The world needs the Republican Party to be defeated. Although what that defeat looks like,
they're not going to go away. This is the party of insurrection.
Fair elections.
They're going to take us all with them.
I don't really have a high point. What I would say is congratulations to all of you who made it this far tonight. I don't know why you stayed so long, but I appreciate your loyalty and your devotion to the Zateo cause. Donald Trump was difficult to watch tonight. I would have preferred to hear him on shark attacks and Arnold Palmer, but instead we got him on fake numbers and random awards and prizes. Prem, Swin, John Harwood, it's a pleasure. Thank you all for joining.
There you go, folks. That's Zateo. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to Zateo. I couldn't recommend them enough. These guys are great. Really,
They're, you know, they've replaced TYT as the home of progressives. Real independent media. These guys absolutely fucking kick ass. Couldn't recommend Zateo enough. Thank you so much, Zateo. And they're not even going to bother with the Democratic response because we all know what it's going to be. It's Spamberger's probably going to mention fucking bipartisanship. Elizabeth Warren standing up and clapping for the fucking for the fucking rebate check or whatever that isn't going to come. These people are suckers, the Democratic Party. So no, big props to Zateo. And you know, my final thoughts on the State of the Union: disgusting, dystopian, ghoulish, the death of irony, enraging, sycophantic. But the main points that was made by the host there of Zateo, I agree with in terms of like, it's not going to move the needle. The anti-Epstein Republicans they're not budging. This isn't going to change their mind. You know, they're talking about, you know, going to war with Iran, handing out a bunch of baubles and using a bunch of dead people and dead kids as props. It just yet another example of the downfall of the Republican Party, but also the downfall of America. The fact that this, you know, that so many people on the so-called left and the right standing up and applauding this man, that people weren't walking out. You know, it's a sign of the times, and it just further reinforces my belief that the Democratic Party needs to be primaried and replaced with actual progressives that are actually going to stand up against this fascist organization, because it's not going to stop with Trump. We could absolutely have a situation where we have another Joe Biden for 4 years, and then we get yet another dystopian, disgusting Republican organization in there just 4 years later, if we are lucky enough to get an honest election and these fucking ghouls leave. So those are my thoughts on the State of the Union. Thank you, everybody. I'm Abandoned Nihilism. This has been the News Underground. Big props to Zombie Cod. Jesus Runs. I appreciate all your comments there. Accidents waiting to happen. Lenny, make sure you're checking Lenny out. Bound TRS. Thank you so much. Snow coming in. Appreciate it. German Cow, thank you so much. Good Guy Dari, I appreciate your comments. Always funny. Star Troopian, thank you for coming in. Elijah, appreciate it. You know, thank you so much, folks. Thank you to all the lurkers. I appreciate the lurkers coming and going. I know there's so many people who can only watch for so long. I get it. But I wanted to turn the fucking thing off. You know, big props to your tubing. Thank you again, your tubing. Gaius, Flavius, Josephus, thank you so much for coming in once again. All you regulars, all you OGs, you regulators in the fucking chat. You know I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. Best chat on Twitch. I say it every time, but it's so fucking true. And folks, I just want to remind you why we're here. It's the 3-step program. We need to create political change now. If this speech doesn't, you know, rattle that cage, I don't know what will. But we got to inform ourselves. We got to sign up and show up using mobilize.us and other resources, and we got to put in the work. We got to work hard to defeat these fucking fascists. Big props to Mumbos and everyone else that showed up and watched. I appreciate it once again. German Cow Zumbo, I see you at the end there. Thank you for sticking around to the very end. I'm Abandoned Nihilism, and this has been the News Underground. God help us all. See you next time. See you this Saturday. Make political activism a lifestyle. It's the only fucking way. It's the only thing that works, and it's the only fucking way. Peace out.